to 3 on the Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan.
Hear this, right now.
Welcome.
Primetime with Isaac and Suk.
What is going on up here?
I never know, man.
Unbiased,
Shut your mouth.
uncompromised sports talk without the
I
sugarcoating.
hope you're happy. You wasted everyone's life for 30 seconds.
Isaac Rupp and Jason Sukanik.
Now shut up and let me do my job.
The best in sports coverage.
This is gonna be great.
This is Primetime with Isaac and Suk on 1080 The Fan.
Hey, what it do?
Ahoy!
What's up? Good Monday.
Hee, magic time.
Ah,
You know, looking us there?
you caught that.
I did catch it.
It's Tuesday.
It is
Just
Tuesday.
kidding.
It is Tuesday.
Good Tuesday.
It's an okay Tuesday.
What do you mean?
Half a point, really?
What
Half
do you-
a point?
Oh, your Blazers?
Half a point?
Well, you're the
Oh,
idiot
yeah.
that bet on them.
Half a point.
Did you bet on them too, Buckley?
No.
I lost $20.
Why would you bet on the Blazers?
It was fun. Why not? Throw a little something
they
on there.
suck, that's
See what
why.
happens. They were down by like 20, and then they made
They got down 26.
and then they made a nice little comeback there, and then we had a meaningless freaking three, like Dougie Buckets or whatever hit a meaningless three.
Hey, do
Those
you
are the
call-
worst. That's
do you-
why gambling sucks.
Do you call the books and say, hey, we almost got it. Can you just go ahead and pay it anyway?
Yeah, I feel like that's
You get paid
I feel like it counts.
even if it's close?
12 and a half, 13.
You know what you needed to have done? Was call John Anthony.
John Anthony would have had confirmed information that I should have bet on the Kings. I felt pretty good when they made the push there. And Scoot, I was like, all right, here we go. We're gonna get it to 12. We're gonna get it to 12. Wrong.
I'm gonna go to that lake.
Wrong. We didn't go to that lake. And now I'm out $20.
Well, that's your own damn fault.
Don't worry. Double up to catch up.
Or you can blame Danny.
I'll call John Anthony next time and get confirmed information. He'll go 5-0 for me.
He's
and
number
then,
one against the spread.
And I'll tell Danny to go pound sand. I did like that was the first thing Danny said to me when he saw me today. He's like, hey, man, I'm sorry. I'm like, hey, what are you going to do?
Well, it does stink to give out a thought or a tip to somebody and then have that tip lose. That's why you don't do it very often.
Well, and the bar that I was drinking at, we were watching me and my buddy were watching the World Series and then Monday Night Football, and they didn't have the Blazers. So even after Monday Night Football ended, they threw up the end of the World Series on the rest of the TVs, and then that ended. And we were like, hey, can you throw on the Blazer game? And he looked at me and he was like, why? And I was like, well, I got money on it. And he was like, well, we don't have that. And I was like, oh, crap. So, shocker, we ended up drinking at another bar, and they didn't have it either. So I was kind of paying attention to it, like on my phone, and was just kind of like looking down and was like, every now and then checked up. And then it got to the end. I was like, you 13?
Blazers.
Freaking Vegas, man. They know what they're doing. So at
No
least I
way.
didn't have to watch it live. I just kind of saw the game cast of it.
So, is this a problem that you can't go anywhere in Portland and get the damn Blazers game?
I will say that we were at 3 bars. 3 bars.
Should you not be able to watch a Blazer game at a bar?
Well, I mean, I suppose they could have done.
Should that be an expectation?
Yeah.
I think this is always interesting to me when the service industry or the restaurant industry can't figure out the sports necessities of their TVs. And I feel like there's going to be a period here in Portland for 1 or 2 months where places that want to do the Blazers for their fans don't know how and are trying to figure it out, and the next person in, and it's a bunch of part-time people, and no one really knows, and they'll get things dialed in by 2025.
I love the question. Hey, could you put the Blazers
I don't
game on?
know.
Why?
Oh, why is a better question.
To be fair, only one of them was a sports bar. The other 2 were not sports bars. They were just bars. But I did enjoy the why.
Why?
And I'm telling you,
It's a good question.
no one in that bar gave 2 flying you-know-whats. So it's like, but they did not have the. I think they had. They might have had YouTube TV for their live TVs, or maybe it was Direct TV. I forget which one they had, but they had one of the streaming ones that he said that they won't be able to get it until it was January, right, where it kicks on. So he's like, yeah, you can come back in January and watch that. But I just loved the what. Yeah, but hey, we got the Monday Night Football game, which ended up having a nice ending to it, and the World Series gave us some drama, something.
Not really.
Well, you had a 2-run shot, you thought, hey.
Yeah, see, I missed that.
And that football game sucked. I'm sorry. That was not good.
Yeah, well, it was peak Daniel Jones.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was
the Giants are hard to watch.
It was vintage
But
Daniel Jones.
the World Series was
You didn't see the homer?
no, because it was over. It was 4-0, 2 outs in the ninth, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah. Well, again,
And then there was a home run.
yeah, there was a home
I
run.
did turn it back, and I'm like, wait, it's 4-2.
Yeah, well, there was 2 out though, but you
The
thought,
hell?
well, because I think who got out? Who made the final
Verdugo.
out? Yeah, Verdugo.
Oh no,
Verdugo hit it
Verdugo
out.
hit the home run. Whoever I forget who was up, but had
Well,
he
it'd
got
been
on
Torres,
base,
wouldn't it?
then Soto would have come up.
Yeah, it was Torres.
And so I was kind of like, oh god, if they get one more on,
Yankees suck.
You got Soto up. And,
Hey, I saw something that I think is real,
yeah.
and it may not be real,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's real.
Oh boy, we're about to get ball sacked, aren't we?
I don't think so.
Which probably means yes, but go ahead.
Is it really a thing where Yankee fans believe that they have it worse than anyone? Have you been seeing this?
That can't be
real.
Well, it is though.
Really? Well, I will say.
I think.
I will say the bar we were at, there was one, it was pretty packed at the beginning, and then by the time the games were winding down, it had kind of filtered out, and there was just a few of us in there. But there was one table of Yankee fans, and they were great because they were losing it with it. Stanton is the worst player of all time until Aaron Judge comes up, and Aaron Judge sucks. Get rid of Juan Soto. Everyone, I mean, it was just this. There was a woe is me mentality. Now I don't know if that means they have it worse than everyone else, but the amount of bitching, and it was hilarious. It was the best part of watching that game.
Well, you
was
saw,
just seeing a table full of Yankee fans melt down.
But if you were watching the game and looking at the crowd shots,
Yeah.
Dude, there is a new great sports pouty face, and it's Yankee fan because it's not just the facial expression. They're animated. They're like yelling and crying.
Well, it's been a while since they've been good, and
Well, this is what I'm getting at.
yeah.
So what I read was that people believe that they are trolling, but they are not.
Yeah.
And there's this group of Yankee people who are younger, and they think they have it worse than anybody for several reasons. They don't think it applies to the older generation of Yankee fans because, I don't know, there were 27 titles.
Does seem like
or
a lot.
26 if you take out 2009.
Seems like a lot.
So 2009 they won.
Yeah.
Before that they have 26 World Series championships.
Yeah.
But for young Yankee fans, the thread I read, they said that every year being the World Series favorite and then having their stars S the bed and never win while living in the shadow of a dynasty is worse than any other fan's plight.
Have they seen Mariner fan? I mean,
And they also think that it's worse that they have 27 rings that they never saw.
huh.
Yeah,
You
that'd
know
be kind
what?
of like me as a 49ers fan saying that, like, it sucks being a 49ers fan because they haven't won one since 94. But it's like they had 5 before that. And I don't know. I get why, as a sports fan, if you're operating in a vacuum, any season you can think your lot as a sports fan sucks. But
This is
Worse than anybody?
This is such a dumb argument, but I'm gonna throw a but.
not worse than anybody, no.
Look,
'Cause you
They
have
think
a
they
payroll.
have it worse than everybody.
I see where they're coming
I
from.
see where you could talk yourself into it.
Yes, because if you're a who's never been the Brewers have never won, Mariners never won, Padres,
Rockies.
Rays, right? So if you've never been one of those franchises, or if you're one of those franchises, you've never won a World Series.
And I don't think anyone who's a Cleveland fan has seen one alive.
Yeah. So like that stinks. I mean, the Mets haven't won one since '86, and I was a kid, and I remember it, but I was like 8. It's haven't had one in my adult life.
But that is so short.
And I'm sorry, it's only been 15
Yes,
years. So how old are
15 years.
these upset fans?
We
that they
haven't
don't
won a
remember
World
it?
Series in 15 years. The humanity.
I know.
Grow up.
See, that part is where it's ridiculous. But I'm just saying,
Mariner fan would like a word.
the bones of the argument.
You out of your mind?
Look, there's concepts of a plan.
What that means
There's
is
concepts of an argument.
all that means is that humans will spin anything into a woe is me story.
I
It
have
doesn't matter
concepts
what
of a
it is.
plan.
It doesn't matter what it is.
It's
Humans
true.
will find a way to
It
bitch
is-
about it.
It is true.
You're bitching about the freaking New York Yankees. Look, I'm sorry you're not going to win the World Series, but you guys are good
You're
every
in the World Series. It
single
can't be worse for you than
year.
anybody else.
It can't. Full stop.
Just by
Shut
you
up.
being in the World Series right now, you can't have it worse.
Get some perspective, you whiny little bitches.
How much money did you spend on Garrett Cole?
And that's the other
How
thing.
much money did you spend to keep Aaron Judge? I guess how much money can you spend to keep Juan Soto? Like, come on.
This is exactly why the entire country is rooting against the Yankees. Right there. It's like, dude, you are so in a bubble. You have no idea what it's like to be a fan of any other team but the Yankees. If you think that's bad, you're an idiot.
And at least the Cowboys have to play in the confines of the salary cap, whereas the Yankees don't. And I'll give the Dodger fan this. At least Dodger fan just kind of shuts up. Like, I mean, look, the Dodgers have been kicked in the nuts many times because they have a team every year that should win a World Series. Now they have the one. Some would say it's kind of a farcical one, 60 games. But I don't necessarily hear a Dodger fan whining every year that they haven't gotten over the top. So Yankee fan, roll it up real tight and cram it. Nice effort, though. It's an A for effort.
It's so dumb.
But you're still Yankee fan, and we still all hate you, and we're rooting against you.
So when you're the Yankees,
get swept.
You can be good every year because you can just go change your roster.
Yeah.
You don't understand what a luxury that is.
Well, and it's young people.
Try being the A's.
Young people love to do it's never been, it drives me, the one that drives me bananas is when young people say, you don't know what it's like to be young, and you didn't have to go through this, and I just laugh. Like, this is the greatest time to be alive. Go tell your grandfather. Go tell your great-grandfather. Go tell someone that lived through a World War or a Great Depression or the Civil Rights Movement or anything else, women's suffrage. Go tell them that this is the worst time to be alive ever. Our country's never been more divided. Hey, dumbass, we had a civil war. We had to go march down for a couple months and then go shoot the racism out of the South. Yeah, I think we've been more divided.
Who won?
I don't know. I think the Yankees did. There you go. It was the Yankees, the freaking Yankees.
Here's
but
a
young
text.
people always want to believe they have it the worst.
Vancouver Ford text line 503-864-6326. It's a stupid generation that's focused only on themselves rather than being a part of something that has a tradition of success and being proud, because if I haven't had it, nothing else matters.
There you go.
That's very accurate.
Very accurate. You know what else is accurate? You know, has it worse right now than Yankee fan? Rich white men. They just don't know the pain. It's true. When will the upper middle class white man finally get his due? When's that gonna happen?
It's hard.
Gosh. It's my favorite line from The Simpsons of all time when Mr. Burns goes, finally the rich white man has the upper hand. Woe is me.
Well, hopefully the World Series ends tonight.
Just, you don't want to extend it, just put it out of its misery?
Well, no, the Yankees aren't going to win.
Yeah, but you don't want
to see them try?
You don't want it to go to 5, 6, give it
No.
little.
Let's bury the stupid Yankees.
Okay. All right. I'd say, I love the World Series, and so selfishly, I wouldn't mind seeing it go on. It's always cooler when a team wins it at home, and I think it'd be kind of fun if the Yankees won a couple, got it back to L.A., and then we had some drama in Game 6, and then the Yankees got their nuts kicked in Los Angeles, and then they got to celebrate at home. I can get on board with that. Give me a couple more games, because once the World Series is over, I got to pay attention to the NBA. Don't give me that.
Well, you really don't.
Well, I got to bet on it though. So maybe
you don't have to do that either.
Well, then I can't. Then there's really no reason to watch it. None whatsoever.
You've been talked into all this stuff.
Got all this.
Think
stuff.
for yourself.
I know.
You don't have to bet on the NBA.
What if we just want to be sheeple and cash our little bets and make our little bets?
Yeah, I get it.
I got the College World Playoff coming up. I'm all right.
That's right.
I can find some stuff.
Well,
NHL.
We do have Game 4 tonight.
Yeah.
Dodgers can celebrate in New York, which I think would be. That's kind of why I want to see. I just want to see them celebrate there in front of all those crying, yelling Yankee fans.
Can they get someone to hijack the sound system and play "I Love L.A." while in New York?
What do you suppose they're gonna play?
Nothing.
When they're celebrating.
Well, I would assume in the clubhouse, "I Love L.A." But
no, I mean like the Yankees. Don't you have to troll them as they're celebrating on your field?
How are you gonna?
I think Major League Baseball makes you play like a generic background track. You know, like
the Field of Dreams or like the
or
Natural
even
song,
just like,
whatever.
yeah, kind of just instrumental music that is nothing, elevator music essentially.
I'm also hoping that Aaron Judge is broken.
It sounds like it.
And will never hit again.
Is it Verducci? I read a piece today where they were saying people close to him just think he's in his head and he's tied in knots. Which, by the way,
maybe it's teeth.
Jeez.
What?
It's not bothering.
He's got veneers.
Well, what about Freddie Freeman?
Well, I know,
his teeth are bigger.
Do you know he's the shortest odds to hit a home run tonight? Judge.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think that Aaron Judge is having post-traumatic stress syndrome because he saw Freddie Freeman's teeth, and now he understands that he could have gone bigger, and he feels inadequate about his own teeth in comparison to Freddie Freeman's. And maybe we need to get him some bigger veneers stat, because those Freeman teeth, man, oh man.
Yeah, Freeman's are a little much.
Yeah, those chompers are really something.
Yeah.
But boy, can he hit.
Yes, he can.
Judges are a little much.
Yeah,
But boy, he can't hit.
well, he could. But I love how, like, right? Like, in baseball, you go through slumps, but God forbid you go through one in the postseason. Now we just have to murder you forever. I would also like to point out that the greatest baseball player that I've ever seen in my entire life, Barry Bonds, was dreadful in the postseason for his entire career. And then he had one World Series where he broke out, but they didn't win.
Judge has 214 postseason at-bats.
Yeah.
He has struck out in 86 of them. And he is hitting 196.
Yeah, under the Mendoza line is a harsh reality for that many at bats.
And that is really weird. It is one thing to struggle. You know, you face better pitching.
This is akin to the Kershaw stuff.
This is bad.
Like the Kershaw regular season, postseason for a while, or he was just getting lit up.
He can't even make contact. Like
and it's just he's spinning into the ground. It's in his head, and
yeah,
you throw him a breaking ball, it looks like Pedro Serrano. He just kind of waves at it. It's not even. There's no good cuts.
Everybody knows it's coming, including him, and he can't hit it.
Yeah, if you're judged, you just sit there and see if they can just throw you strikes. Just put it on your shoulder. Sit fastball, and if it's not there, you're like, I don't know, strike me out looking, because whatever you're doing, it ain't working.
Has anybody gone back and look at Freddie Freeman's old teeth?
No. Do a little comp.
Because
he was in Atlanta.
Oh, there it is, right there. Yeah.
What are you gonna give us an analysis here?
I don't have one. It's
Tough
just,
to tell.
Well, no, it's not tough to tell. I mean, clearly he's got veneers.
Oh yeah, the old teeth. Yeah, I see him right here.
It's just I forgot what he. When you see somebody with veneers, you only need 2 or 3 times to look at them before you forget what they used to look like.
All I know is he paid a lot of money for those veneers, and I think he got rooked.
I mean, as long as he's happy.
Yeah, that's all that matters. But yeah, it is a
judges were bad too.
It is a shocking transformation. If you ever want to see the ultimate veneers, look at Tom Cruise.
Well, he had middle tooth, remember?
Yeah, Tom's were.
Yeah.
Search Tom Cruise middle tooth. It's wild.
Judge had the big gap.
Yeah.
And so his look good now.
Yeah.
He got that all cleaned out.
Freeman just needs to reduce them by like 35%. Like part of your testosterone program, like toning it down. We need like 30% less mass on the veneers.
Do you think if I told Aaron Judge right now, you're going to break out of your postseason slump forever, but you have to put your old teeth back?
Re-gap your teeth?
I would certainly
he do it?
I certainly would hope so.
I don't think he would.
Like, no way, man.
You don't think he'd re-gap?
No. No.
You re-gap and then you start hitting into the gap as opposed to striking out?
Once you gap, you know what they say.
Yeah, you're stuck. You're stuck there.
Is it weird to say? I think that's kind of like a cool physical trait. Like when you have a... Like, it's better than having your teeth all crossed up. Like, Michael Strahan's made it his thing. Like, Aaron Judge wasn't an unattractive dude when he had a gap in his teeth.
It's easy to say when you don't have the gap and you grew up your entire life.
I know.
Says the bald man.
Exactly, right? You know how many people tell me all the time, oh, you look great, bald. Why would you want hair? Do you have a full head of hair? Yeah, shut up then. If you're a bald guy, you can tell me that. But sit there with a luscious head of hair and tell me that, oh, it's wrong with being bald. Get bent. It's like some tall person telling a short guy, what's the problem?
Judges... I don't know who fixed his teeth, but they did a good job.
Yeah.
Because he just looks normal now.
Yeah.
Whereas Freeman's teeth,
little Frankenstein.
They jump off the page at you and it's like,
Yeah.
Even after seeing it multiple times. So I don't know what the difference in those two is.
Size and one's like the color of the sun. It's just that
It's
bright.
just who they went to or what they chose or I don't know. It's like plastic surgery. Sometimes you get good plastic surgery, and sometimes they botch it.
You just think with a guy like with Freddie Freeman, you got the money. He probably just chose that. Hey, bigger is better, right?
I'm gonna get some veneers, and they're gonna be so obnoxious.
They're so spendy, man.
That you will never look at me the same again.
It's like walking into like that weird white fluorescent hospital light. You're like, oh my god.
All right, it's time for poll question. It's on X at 1080 The Fan. Yesterday, we asked you which team is most unstoppable right now. Oregon winning that 41%. Second was the Lions, 25%. Chiefs, 18%. Dodgers, 16%. Yet they seem to be the most unstoppable.
Well, right now they are up 3-0. That and when's the last time the Chiefs lost? I mean, I know they're not dominating people, but
Ooh, when is the last time they lost?
You got to go back a ways, don't you?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They're 7-0.
Yeah, they're 7-0, and
So they won 3 playoff games.
No, they had to do the wild card last year. So
that's 10. I'm looking here for you. I got that for you. I got that.
What was the date of the last?
They won
time?
their last.
They won their last.
Oh no, they won 4 in the playoffs. So
and they won their last 2 regular season games.
They had to go to the play. They had to go into the wild card.
6. So 13. They won 13 games in a row. Their last loss was to the mighty Las Vegas Raiders on Christmas Day.
The Raiders
last year.
I mean, they've had some close calls, but you know, if you want to talk about teams that that charger it, now Cincinnati's one of those. Have you seen Baltimore has actually blown more fourth quarter leads than anyone?
John Harbaugh is the king of making you sweat.
Yeah, they're weird. I feel like they're a really good team, but they get squirrely and they lose games they shouldn't lose.
Yeah, they're like the Stanford Cardinals of the NFL. Like Stanford, for all those years, they were always really good under David Shaw, and then they'd have a loss to like Northwestern. You're like, what in the hell? That's Baltimore. I mean, my God, and they did it last year in the playoffs. I still can't figure out how they lost that game. They were the best team in the NFL last year, but they ain't winning anything. And I was getting ready to say that I thought they were probably the best team in the NFL right now. And then they lose, and they let Jameis go out and eat a W. It's the damnedest thing.
So today's poll question on X at 1080 The Fan. Who is your Heisman after 9 weeks? Travis Hunter, Dylan Gabriel, Ashton Genty, or Cam Ward? Vote hard.
Boy, I'll tell you what. It's hard to not vote for Genty and what he's done, but I think it's Travis Hunter. Look, I'm not one of those guys that will that hates just for the sake of hating. Like, I thought Dion was a lot. I was kind of hoping they'd fall on their face. They didn't. They've had a solid season. They're not great by any stretch of the imagination, but give them credit. They're bowl eligible, and what Travis Hunter is doing on both sides of the ball, I mean, I've never seen it. Never seen anything quite like this. So, I mean, Charles Woodson won a Heisman playing both sides, but he wasn't a full-time guy. He just was a spot player as a receiver and a return guy. Travis Hunter is literally playing every snap on offense and defense. And arguably, you can make the case that he should win the Biletnikoff Award this year as the best receiver. And he's still a solid DB. He's stupid good. So, if it really is the best player and not just, best player, best team, it's Travis Hunter with a side of Genty, because he's silly too. And on a lesser team against their best competition, Oregon, he still was the best player on the field. So he was the best player on the field when Boise State played the number 1 team in the country now in Oregon.
Yeah, Genty's averaging 8.7 yards per carry.
Yeah, and
is that any good?
And the numbers would have been even better had they let him finish games. But a lot of times they sit him down.
Current odds, Dylan Gabriel, the favorite, plus 240.
And that goes to the quarterback on the best team.
Yeah, and I think if Oregon goes undefeated, I think Gabriel wins it.
Yeah, that's usually the case.
Travis Hunter, plus 250, so they're neck and neck. Cam Ward, plus 300, and Genty down there at plus 450 now. And then way off the page is Cade Klubnik at plus 2,500.
Yeah.
So it's a 4-man race at
Pretty
this
much.
point.
Well, and remember, Heisman trophies, fair or not, are usually won in the last month of the season, and you have a marquee moment, right? You have to have something splashy, and so some national stage. I don't think Genty's going to get that. I'm not sure if Hunter will have that, but Gabriel should have a moment to be on that stage. Maybe Cam Ward could have that moment. So those guys will have an advantage because they'll have primetime eyes on them. Not certain that Boise State and Colorado are going to have that marquee national moment.
Yeah. I don't think Genty has any shot at winning it.
Probably not.
Hunter, maybe, because of the things that you pointed out.
He's just so unique.
But, yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be Gabriel. Or somebody out of the blue, like, let's say Ewers just gets hot and then lights up Texas A&M and
something
wins the SEC,
It's going to be tough.
These things can change really fast.
Absolutely they can. Like I said, it's usually not about being the best player. It's about, just moments and creating buzz and then, grabbing votes. And there's usually a East Coast Southern bias, but you think about in the SEC right now. I mean, dude, Ewers has been hurt and he got benched.
I know.
Like, and Beck's not having a good year. He can't win it. He's throwing way too many picks. The Texas A&M quarterback, he just got benched and may not get his job.
What about a 12-0 BYU?
Rat slap. Yeah. I mean, again, he doesn't have the numbers, but
No.
there just isn't. And plus, no one's voting for, like, we got one with Ty Detmer and we're not getting another one. Those days are gone. This is why Genty won't win it. But it's just, we don't really have that guy in the SEC country that really is like the biggest marquee guy. And, Cam Ward's having a hell of a year, but again, not a lot of people respect Miami because they're kind of skin of their teeth in it. And it's just a weird year. This may be one of those Heisman Trophy years where you're kind of like, historically you look like when Chris Winkie won it, or who was it, like Jason White, or was it Heupel? Which one of those won it at Oklahoma?
Did both of them win it?
Did
I
both
think
win it?
no, I don't think they both
I
won
thought
it.
one of them won it.
I think White won it.
Yeah, and it's
Because
like,
there's the controversy of all the people that voted before his championship
yeah,
game.
and you kind of look at that Heisman and you're like,
Yeah, Jason White won the
yeah,
Heisman.
like Jason, like this may be a Jason White sort of Heisman year where you're like, I don't know, give it to him, sure, whatever. It's like, go away.
All right, vote hard. Coming up next, we'll get to our NFL nickel slot. Another quarterback benched.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Buck.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Brian Buckley with this SportsCenter update. First on the Fan on the Diamond tonight, the Dodgers can sweep the Yankees in Game 4 of the World Series. L.A. going with the bullpen game started by Ben Kasparius. Yankees send Luis Gil to the mound as they look to stay in the series. First pitch at 5:08 on Fox. In the NFL, Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson benched in Indianapolis. Joe Flacco will take the snaps as QB1 moving forward. The Ravens add some depth to their receiving core, acquiring receiver Deontay Johnson from the Panthers. Baltimore sends a 5th-round pick to Carolina and receives a 6th-round back in return. The Texans take a hit to their receiving core as Stephon Diggs has been lost for the season with a torn ACL. Down in Eugene, a welcome sight on the Oregon practice field as both Terrence Ferguson and Jordan Birch have reportedly returned to practice. Birch is working his way back from a knee injury while Ferguson's working his way back from an appendectomy. And on the pitch, Oregon women's soccer coach Graham Abel has resigned from his position, ending a 5-year run with the Ducks. In April, 14 former players accused Abel of verbal abuse, which both Abel and the university denied. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley at the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Live, local, and free. No subscription required. Portland's sports leader is 1080 The Fan.
Your business needs a network.
to our NFL nickel slot, as we have some NFL news today. But before we get to that, last night, the Steelers, my Steelers,
Yes.
now 6-2, beat the New York Giants. And I was watching that game. This is something Buck and I talked about yesterday, but it was off the air, so I'd like to bring the conversation to the air.
Do it.
Because late in that game, Russell Wilson fumbled because the ball got punched out. Oftentimes when we watch sports, it's simply to just see people do incredible things that we could never do in a million years, right? And football's got a lot of that. Like, I've always marveled at football players' sideline feet agility. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, the toe taps.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, the body control.
Just the awareness and the body control and the agility, and it's just awesome. The new one for me in football is how guys are able to hold on to the football when the defense is doing everything it can to get it out.
Yeah,
like, I feel like we are in a golden age of creating takeaways.
Yeah.
I don't know it's always been a thing, but defenders are getting so good at the punch and the strip.
Yep.
And it really, I sit and watch football, and I swear to God, it's like every other play. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to fumble.
Well, now every
because
time
you can see a guy coming from behind with the big arm swipe, or you get 3 or 4 guys gang tackling a dude, and they're all just ripping at that football. I cannot believe how often these guys don't fumble.
Well, that's like we were talking about when that trend kind of started, because it felt like maybe Peanut Tillman gets some credit for that or whatever. But
Lawrence Taylor was the one that originally
chop.
Well, yeah, it was the strip sack. Like, Lawrence Taylor was the one that was like, why would I want to sack a guy when
I could get the ball?
When I can get the ball. And so now, and especially now with not being able to necessarily make big hits anymore, I don't think anyone, for the most part now, tries to square anyone up and try to get big hits. And I think what you figured out, too, is it's kind of like baseball or basketball, right? Like, we're on the trend now if teams are going to shoot 63s a game, because we figured out analytic-wise, it doesn't do any good to shoot twos. It's layups, dunks, or three-pointers. And in baseball, what do? You get the ball in the air. I don't care if I'd rather you hit 230 and get 45 than hit 270 and get, 20. And so I think people have realized that squaring up on people and trying to make great form tackles and not giving up an extra 3 or 4 yards, it's not worth it. You are now, when you are in a pile, and it is, you reach for the ball. When you're coming around to get a quarterback, you watch any defensive end worth his salt. When he comes around the corner, he is not looking to take the quarterback's head off. He is looking to get the arm and chop the ball out. Even sometimes it leads to a quarterback getting away because he doesn't wrap him up, but he's always coming from behind, and that's the Lawrence Taylor thing.
Well, Watt did that last night, too.
Yeah, Watt did it last night, and again, I guess it didn't. It almost ended the game. Or was that the one?
No, that
was the one, and then they got it back.
And then they got it back.
Then the INT. Don't. I got my Daniel Jones screw up confused. I'm like, wait, was that the strip sack or was it the interception? That interception, by the way, was god awful. But yeah, you see that now is you turn the corner and you're swiping for it. So it is 100% something that every defender now from a little age is taught, where it used to more of just be like an instinctual thing.
I'd tell you what, if I were in the NFL, because I'm very strong, and probably should have played many, many years in the NFL.
Clearly.
But I had a knee injury in the 8th grade that prevented me from that.
Pheasant Bowl, man.
Had I played, the Pheasant Bowl was my crowning moment. See, people conflate these things. I was not injured in the Pheasant Bowl.
Yeah. Oh.
Read Wikipedia.
What bowl game were you injured in?
Well, it wasn't a bowl game. It was a non-contact injury, playing soccer in my basement with my brother.
Nice. Those things happen.
I was the goaltender.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson had a non-contact.
Stopped the shot, though.
That's all that matters.
But in the Pheasant Bowl, that's when I recovered the fumble and became a hero.
Local sports legend.
Yeah, a hero to this day.
Yeah.
But so I just cringe to think how often I would fumble.
Yeah.
These guys are so good at holding on to the ball. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
At any rate, did you see that Dable did the 12-man penalty thing last night?
Yeah.
And it worked?
Yeah.
It was smart.
Yeah. If there are loopholes to be had, teams will apply them. And then no one, that's the thing about college football versus down.
Dable took put 12 men on the field to get a 5-yard penalty so that they would get a first down, so that he could use all 3 of his timeouts on one series instead of, because he was thinking at 3 yards, second and 3,
gonna get it.
they're probably going to get a first down. So I'll just give them the first down,
Yep.
and then that way I can save a timeout and use all 3 of my timeouts and the 2-minute warning if I need it
It's really smart.
on the next series, which did work,
Yeah.
and they got the ball back. But then, of course,
Daniel Jones threw an interception.
Daniel Jones became Daniel Jones, and he was Daniel Jones.
But yeah, it's a smart headsy play. Because yeah, if you rip off 7 yards, you know that chances are they're going to get a first down on that, and then there's no reason to waste timeouts.
That's right.
So yeah, it's a smart headsy play, but it doesn't matter when Daniel Jones is your quarterback. And also, let's give Mike Tomlin credit. I still think the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is limited, and I think there's a ceiling. It's a playoff team. I don't think they can win. Their offense still isn't very good. Beating up on the Giants, whatever. And by the way, the sorry-ass Giants still had a chance if they weren't the Giants to win that game. But everyone ripped him and said he was making a foolish decision by benching Justin Fields when they were 4-2, and their offense, while still limited, looks a lot better, and it's more diverse with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And while Russ is not what he was, this was kind of what we said in Denver last year. He was not the main problem in Denver, and he's not going to be a problem in Pittsburgh. There's just a limit to what he can bring to the table.
Well, he can't move anymore.
No.
And that's a problem.
Yes.
And it's so weird to watch him now because we're just so used to what he used to be. Yeah. But he's certainly pushing the ball down the field and doing a really nice job with their offense. Yeah. And, and that's opened up their run game. Mm-hmm. And that's all Pittsburgh wants to do is ultimately they just want to run the ball.
Yeah, but the best way, it's a catch-22 because we have this belief that the best way to run the ball in football is to have a running quarterback because the +1 run game is really effective when you have one. But in reality, the best way to run the ball is to have a quarterback that can push it downfield. Because when you have a quarterback that can push it downfield, you have to play 2 high safeties. It takes people out of the box. When you can threaten the pass, it opens up the run. And no offense to Justin Fields, but he's not a great thrower of the football. And you see this even with like the Colts and like Anthony Richardson.
It's just much better now.
It is. It is a much better looking, more NFL style of offense with Russell Wilson at the helm.
Now, their last 3 wins are the Raiders, Jets, and Giants.
Exactly. So let's just...
And they lost to the Cowboys.
Yeah. So this is why I said ultimately there's a ceiling to what the Steelers are. But everyone now is like, oh, the Steelers. Trust me, this is the same Steeler team. It's just a slight upgrade on offense, but they will not beat the better teams when it counts playing this offense. They just won't.
They're 6-2, and I think they're excellent. I love the Steelers. Excuse me. That was Pepsi.
It happens.
I had a couple sips of Pepsi.
Oh, just some sips, not a full one.
Oh, God, I couldn't drink a whole. I don't drink
You're
soda.
like that Chiefs player just having a little bit of Sprite at a time.
That's right.
That's right. During my trainer over there,
just a little scooch.
He sits off camera, but hands me the Pepsi. I respect the Steelers. I like the way they play. Russell Wilson's made them better. They're 6-2. They're going into a bye, feeling good. But a little scheduling quirk I saw that they pointed out last night on the broadcast. Joe Buck said that the Steelers have all 6 of their divisional games still to play.
Oh,
did you know that?
I can't say. Well, I was at a bar, so the sound was.
That's
down.
weird.
They have not played.
That's really strange.
A divisional game. As a matter of fact, they will not until week 11.
Really?
And so all 6.
That's really
that
weird.
in, huh?
All 6 of their games in the division will happen between week 11 and week 18. I've never heard of that. I don't know why that is.
Well, I do know that they like division games, obviously. At the end of the year, because those are when things are decided. But I can't say that I remember all 6 being crammed in. So they got. They're at the Commies.
That's not easy.
That'll
be a good game.
Yeah, that's going to be a great game. Because all of a sudden the Commanders are playing defense, which I still can't fully process.
Yeah, I feel like those teams are about the same.
And then you got the Ravens, and then at the Browns, and we'll see what happens there with Jameis eating W's. At Cincinnati, Cleveland, Philly, Ravens, Chiefs, Cincy. So
that ain't easy, dude.
That ain't easy. That's not easy.
If you say that the Bengals and Browns will keep it together.
That's a big boy schedule right there.
That is meat.
Yeah. And so far, Falcons, Broncos, Chargers, Colts, Cowboys, Raiders, Jets, Giants. So yeah, the hard part is still
they've taken advantage of the easy part, but they had still lost to Dallas.
Lost to Dallas and the Colts, which I think that was the Joe Flacco led Colts. Which, by the way, going forward,
the
Joe Flacco led Colts.
Let's get to that next. We do have another quarterback benched, and we'll talk about that when we return on our NFL nickel slot on the Fan.
Seahawks
All right, our NBA runaround is coming up. That is our first one of the season. A lot to discuss. Or is there?
You gonna break down that hot Blazer game, are you?
I'm gonna go to that lake.
But first, we have another quarterback benched in the NFL.
And by the way, I was reading an article today where there's a little buzz that maybe this is going to have a ripple down effect with agents and what they're telling college quarterbacks.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get to that in a sec.
Yeah.
But I want to play the audio. So this is Anthony Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to the bench. Colts going with Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Because he's clearly better.
Yes, and the Colts are in every game. Every game they've lost, they're 500. Every game has been a one possession game.
Yeah.
And this could be a playoff team, and Anthony Richardson does not give them the best chance to win games.
Do you know what his completion percentage is?
It's got to be horrific.
You want to take a stab?
You see his line on his last game?
40, 35, 40%, somewhere in there.
He's at 44%.
Yeah,
He went 10 of 32 on Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, there was a period in the game where if you took away the blown coverage, they had a blown coverage that went for like 69. It was in the first half. So if you take away the blown coverage touchdown where he just, threw it, there's no one within 15 yards of the guy. He went, I think, 69 yards. I think in the first half he was, I want to say 2 of 15 for like 34 yards. That was his stat line in the first half. Now, granted, there were, some of the guys weren't doing him any favors, but the problem with Anthony Richardson right now is he is so, he's just unable to run a real offense. And you see this is what I was talking about with like Jalen Hurts, although Hurts had a great game last week. When you don't have command of the offense, when you don't have command of the pocket, when you don't have touch, you only have routes on the outside. It's what they talked about with Justin Fields. When you hear people say they only play outside of the numbers, it's because those throws are the easiest. They're not the easiest throws to complete. They're the easiest throws to make because there's really no damage. Either the ball is out of bounds or it's overthrown. It should
be low risk.
You don't have to read anything.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I got a guy on the outside. It's one-on-one. I find that matchup or with the receiver, the safeties, over the top, and I just throw it out there, right? 3 steps and there goes the ball. That's all he throws. And so you get these low percentage throws that occasionally one of them hits, but they're a high degree of difficulty, and it's not a functional offense. You cannot win. It's like the old Raiders style of let's drop back and huck it 60 yards and hope something good happens. And that's all they can do with Anthony Richardson right now, or let him run.
No.
And it is just not a sustainable way. It's a college or high school offense.
He's been benched.
Yes.
So obviously they...
and you're going to lose the locker room if you keep doing that.
They know what you're talking about. So did he get benched more for that, or did he get benched more for the fact that he tapped out of the game?
I'll tell you what, I think it was the nail in the coffin.
Here's what he said after the... So if you didn't see, he asked out of the game after a kind of this weird run.
Yeah. It's third down, by the way.
He was just scrambling.
Third down scramble.
Yeah.
He gets up, he's a little winded, and he asked to the sideline.
Yeah.
And you can see all the Colts going,
yeah, what?
What the hell?
And it looked, because they kind of grabbed his leg.
They thought he was hurt.
And I was like, oh my God, here we go again. No, it turns out he was just tired.
Man, tired. I ain't gonna lie. That was a lot of running right there, what I did. And I don't think I was gonna be able to go that next play. So I just, just told Sam I just needed a break right there.
Yeah, you can't. Honestly.
Just needed a break right there.
I have been playing or watching football since I was about 7 or 8 years old. So we're going on close to 40 years. I've never seen it. I just never seen it. Your franchise quarterback, the starting quarterback at any level on a third down, and you tap out because you're tired.
Need a blow, boss.
I just, at some point you lose the locker room, and this is the weird part about the NFL is like you're like, oh well, you're going through growing pains, and this is the guy we drafted and needs to be our future. But for everyone else on that field, no one gives a damn about what's happening 2 years from now.
And couldn't he have either called a timeout or called a run play? Like, aren't there other ways to get out of that? If you do need
I
a
was
breath?
watching the game. I think it was like 3rd and 8. And so, it was obviously a passing situation. Like, I just never seen it. And
did they throw Flacco in there?
Yeah, they put Flacco in. And that's when I assumed that he was hurt. And I was like, oh boy, here we go again. I'm like, he's not going to get his job back. Well, he didn't get his job back, but it turned out not because he was hurt.
Well,
he's tapping out of plays.
They're saying that he is still their franchise and he will get another crack. This isn't permanent.
Wow.
But Joe Flacco is clearly Joe Flacco can still sling it.
Yes.
Veteran.
Yes. Well, and
knows what he's doing.
And ultimately, again, this may be an opportunity for Anthony Richardson to learn, but this is the problem when you draft Anthony Richardson. And I said this when he got drafted. I've never seen a more ill-prepared quarterback coming out. And people were bringing up Josh Allen. And Josh Allen had his struggles too when he first came out, but Josh Allen played plenty of college ball. Anthony Richardson, I think, had like 15 college starts. And Anthony Richardson was bad in college. Not bad against elite competition. He was bad. And Dable drafted him because he was an athlete. But when you watch him play, from recognition to footwork to all of it, he is a bad NFL quarterback. He is the worst functional NFL quarterback as far as playing the position. He's just a great athlete, and he has a huge arm, and he can make plays with his legs. And this is where that article I read said that this may change the way agents now are telling college quarterbacks. So it used to be, hey, Anthony Richardson gets a first-round grade, and they're like, hey, we think you can go in the first round, and we think you may be able to climb the ladder here. And so it's like, hey, go now. And I think what you're seeing now with some of these guys that wash out, now that you can make money in college, there's an idea that if you haven't started 2 full seasons in college, your agent's going to tell you, you go back, you take the NIL money, and you sit and learn, because you just aren't going to get the time to develop in the NFL. It's not going to and I know Bryce Young played more football, but you've seen now, whether it's Zach Wilson, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, the tolerance for some of these young quarterbacks, this leash is not that long, and you can wash out in the span of 16, 17 games. And so when you go into the NFL, if you are completely unprepared, and make no mistake about it, some of these guys are completely unprepared, it doesn't do you any good to cash one rookie paycheck, right, on your signing bonus, and then have it maybe nuke the whole career. You're better off going back to college, making $1 million, maybe $2 million off NIL, and actually learning to play the position so that when you do get your opportunity in the NFL, you don't wash out after a year.
Definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Who would teach them? Like, do you think that means then you get an influx of NFL type coaches at the college level who teams bring them in to develop quarterbacks?
I would certainly hope so.
Because, I mean, Anthony Richardson was at Florida.
Yeah.
Is there anybody there that can even teach him what he needs to know before going to the pros?
Tim Tebow. Wait, no.
I mean, look, and Dave Bartu talks about this all the time. He's a big believer of the more you play. Obviously, it's like the Brock Purdy thing, right? Yeah. Physically he's not great, but he's played a lot of football. And so even if you aren't necessarily running NFL concepts, you're not running an NFL system, there's still something to be said for just playing the position more and seeing things and learning how to process information. So at least when I get to the NFL, yes, you may be teaching me how to process things differently. You may be teaching me different footwork, but I have a good platform, right? I have a solid base, as opposed to landing in the NFL and having no ability to process information, no ability to ever learn any real footwork. And now I'm having to learn from basically zero. And in case anyone was wondering, no offense to anyone trying to hit a baseball, the hardest thing to do in sports is play that position and play it well. And you're asking people to learn the toughest position in all of sports. You're asking them to learn it in the span of 15 to 16 to 17 games when you really have no ability to do so. It's like, I mean, honestly, it'd be like dumping someone into a foreign country and being like, you have this long to learn the language and you better be fluent in it. And if you're not in the span of 6 months, your ass is fired. It's just, it's really hard to do.
So there's a direct correlation between college starts and NFL success?
Yeah, there's a lot of, and there's more and more numbers that are starting to back that up, or at least
because Knicks comes to mind.
Starts may not guarantee you success, but when you, and Dave talks about this part too, when you don't have a lot of starts and you aren't carrying the load in college, the ones that actually transition to the NFL, you are the outlier of outliers. And if you're drafting the number one guy that you're committing to, it's really hard to draft on an outlier on an outlier base and say he's going to be the guy to buck the trend.
Yeah.
They needed a brick right there.
So
interesting.
Well, it's like Anthony Richardson is such a better physical prospect than Bo Nix. And Bo has had his own struggles, but Bo has shown you over the last couple of weeks, it looks like there's some stuff there to work with. Like it's progressing. And you think about the number of reps and what Bo Nix has seen in his college time versus Anthony Richardson. And while they've both had their struggles, one you look at and say, hey, there's progress being made here. We can work with this. The other one you look at and you're like, I don't know where we go with this.
Yeah, I was looking at Lamar. He had three seasons at Louisville.
At Louisville.
Yeah.
and was raw, but it wasn't like this.
Not like this,
Not
yeah.
like this.
All right.
How many did Zach Wilson have? Because I remember he had the one good year, and like that was it.
Zach Wilson.
And it was not pretty. I mean, I was just thinking of it's like, ugh.
And then somebody else brought up Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah.
He didn't have a lot.
No.
Zach Wilson, 30 games.
Oh, so he played more. All right.
3 seasons.
Well, he may just suck.
Oh.
Well, he had one good year in college. And then,
Somebody else mentioning Jordan Love sitting at Green Bay.
Yes. And I would have loved to have seen what Anthony Richardson could have done with 3 years of sitting and be like, under no circumstance are you taking that field. We are going to spend 3 years and we're going to teach you how to do this, as opposed to, dude, just go out and make plays. Oh, you get hurt. And now, like, you took a team that was ready to win, that had a pretty good core, and you drafted the ultimate project player. Like, it was kind of doomed from the get-go, unless he was the freak outlier. And
Unless he was Jaden Daniels, basically.
but Daniels played a lot of football.
Yes, he did.
A lot of football.
Yeah, I was going through all the guys, and it seems to be just on paper. You just think about the guys who are having more success.
So then in that
they had
case,
more starts.
Does that mean that Dylan Gabriel's game somehow translates to the NFL? He's got no, he doesn't have a big arm, but like,
He's gonna
can he
get
be a Purdy?
He's gonna get a crack, but I think there's some real physical limitations on him.
Yeah.
But yes, like if you
It
ask
gives
me,
him a chance.
he gives
right?
him a chance.
Yeah.
Yes, he gives him a chance because he has played as much football as you can play. More so maybe than any college quarterback ever.
All right, coming up next, our NBA runaround on the Fan.
It's a Western Conference showdown in the NBA. I'm Sammy P, here to help you beat the books with BetQL. Dallas visiting Minnesota tonight, and the Mavs come in as a 5-point road underdog. The BetQL model is backing Luka Doncic and company as a dog. BetQL, giving the Mavericks +5 as a 5-star best bet. I'm Sammy P. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Hey, it's Suk talking to all my contractors out there. I know for flooring, y'all go to the wholesale place, but what if I told you there was a better alternative with better pricing, service, they could even install, and financing so you don't have to tie up your cash? Ladies and gentlemen, Divine Surface. With LVP, laminate, or carpet, they're going to beat the wholesale store. How about LVP for $4 a square foot installed? Can't beat the price, so let's change up the norm and support a great local business. Say hi to Jim, by the way. He's a good dude, happens to be the owner. 1500 Sandy Boulevard or online at divinesurface.com.
CCB 248775.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh cracked American cheese, bacon. And the second bite is like fresh cracked American cheese, bacon.
You get the idea. And now, get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
The home of Primetime with Isaac and Sue. Always live on the Odyssey app is KFXX, KWJJ, HD2 Portland. 1080, The Fan.
By the way, should we change that name?
It's too late now.
An Odyssey Sports Station. Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with this Sports Center update. First on the Fan, on the diamond tonight, the Dodgers can sweep the Yankees in Game 4 of the World Series. LA going with a bullpen game. Yankees sending Luis Gil to the mound as they look to stay in the series. First pitch is at 5:08 over on Fox. In the NFL, Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson Benched in Indianapolis, Joe Flacco will take the snaps as QB1 moving forward. The Ravens add some depth to their receiving core, acquiring receiver Deontay Johnson from the Panthers. Baltimore sends a 5th-round pick to Carolina and receives a 6th-round pick back in return. The Texans take a hit to their receiving core as Stephon Diggs has been lost for the season with a torn ACL. Down in Eugene, a welcome sight on the Oregon Ducks practice field as both Terrence Ferguson and Jordan Birch have reportedly returned to practice. Birch working his way back from a knee injury, Ferguson working his way back from an appendectomy. And on the pitch, Oregon women's soccer head coach Graham Abel has resigned from his position, ending a 5-year run with the Ducks. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley, the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now, Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's window into 1080 The Fan.
If you can find the time to explore the mind of a stripper, then you can find the time to spend with your actual family.
Primetime with Isaac and Suk.
Damn! What they on? All steroids and no carbs? Them some thick-ass kids.
This is Primetime.
We're not like you. We're grown-ups.
Your source for the best in local, regional, and national sports.
Oh, my goodness!
Here are Isaac Ropp and Jason Sakanik with Primetime on 1080 The Fan.
Magic Johnson. All right, welcome back. Time for Magic Johnson talk.
By the way, it was Matt Miller, the NFL draft scout that I follow. Really smart guy. He's the one that had it where he's saying scouts and agents are telling college QBs, do not leave unless you've started at least 2, preferably more. Just quite frankly, the whole thing was the NFL does not develop quarterbacks anymore outside of rare exceptions.
Programming note, Matt Miller will be on Dirt and Sprague tomorrow morning.
Hey, look at that.
What? That is amazing.
7 a.m.
Look at that sports synergy right there.
Boom. Well, there's such a value now on quarterbacks on rookie contracts because, once you pay them, it's harder than ever. So there just really is an incentive to get guys playing early, and you cannot develop quarterbacks while trying to win games in the NFL.
Somebody mentioned, I forgot about him, but Michael Penix?
Yes.
Can't wait to watch Michael Penix.
And he gets the benefit of sitting. Look, if
the new Jordan Love.
Well, and Cousins is playing well. They're not getting rid of him if he keeps playing like this.
Hey,
so Penix probably gets to sit for 2 years.
Look, the reality is, everybody laughed at the Falcons.
Yeah.
That might have been a great move.
Yeah. In 2 years, when they're ready to move off of him, maybe they've got their guy just ready to slide on in.
Well, the Blazers lost again last night.
Another one.
But that's not what we need to talk about. I mean, all you need to know about the Blazers right now and the state of the Blazers is that Big Suk, noted news reporter here at the Fan,
news contributor, thank you,
was out and about last night drinking heavily for some reason on a Monday night.
Well, it's the World Series, man, and then it kind of led. And
he goes to a bar in Portland with TVs and asks for the Blazers game, and the bartender proceeds to ask, why? That's what you need to know about the state of the Blazers. Now, in more interesting Blazers news, I got a press release yesterday, as I'm sure you did, and it says that the Blazers are giving away commemorative glassware.
Yes.
Coming up. 3 players. This is a big deal from back in the 80s.
I'm aware. This was an old Dairy Queen promotion. And so these aren't Dairy Queen, but they're doing the throwback to the Dairy Queen glasses.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so they did it again in 2014, I think, with like LaMarcus and some of those guys.
Yeah.
Because I remember I had a few on my desk for some reason. I don't know where they came from. Somebody just gave them to us. And now they are clearly out of marketing ideas, so they have circled back to this. Donovan Clingan on the 13th of November. Scoot sometime in December, they said between the 10th and 17th, that's to be determined. And Shaden Sharp on January 16th.
Love it.
And the first 7,777 fans. I don't know why that number, but gets one.
I still have, somewhere in my house.
You got the Terry Porter one?
I have a Jerome Kersey one. As I used to have, like growing up, that was a big deal, man. You'd head to DQ. And let me tell you what, I did not like when you'd go to Dairy Queen and they wouldn't let you pick. Like, you're like, dude, I already have 3 Terry Porters.
Yeah, they chose for you, right?
Yeah, it's like, no. I need
that one.
And they're like, no, sorry, just random. I didn't like that at all.
Well,
it was Bush. I loved those cups.
That's pretty exciting news, guys. That's what we have to look forward to.
What else? What else you got?
Well, I guess you could. I don't know. That's kind of risky throwing some of those guys on there. but you don't really have anybody else. Like, see, I think I would have done a Jeremy Grant one.
Oh God, no! Grant's gonna be he's so far gone.
Well, I know, but he's good. He's actually good.
Sure.
No, he is. But
Whereas-
I think if you want this to be commemorative, you, in theory, want it to be someone who's going to be here beyond this year.
Okay, so you're taking a risk on the rookies or the young guys. I mean, like, what if they're not any good?
That's possible, but they will probably
You
be
know?
not good here
That'd be
for a
like-
couple years.
It'd be like having a Myers Leonard commemorative glass.
You know
that didn't
what?
age well.
Well, yeah.
Well, but what if you got a Lillard one the year that he went to the Bucks? Like, you wouldn't love that. I mean, if you get one and a player immediately leaves, like you're not. I mean, Lillard's a bad example because he's a
all right.
franchise guy. But
There's only one way to go with this.
DeAndre Ayton?
And that's the Chris Murray commemorative cup.
Chris Murray.
Chris Murray.
Yeah, they should do them just for like those guys. The
Yeah.
scrappy
Taze
guys.
Moore.
There's a
Matisse Thybulle.
Banton.
15th man Taze Moore. Let's
Yeah.
get it.
Robert. I need someone to produce their own
6-game Robert Williams.
Yeah, Robert Williams, and it's just like him in a cast. He's on some crutches. Oh, the Blazers.
Are we gonna have to watch out for Danny Ainge and the Cooper Flag sweepstakes? Did you see them last night?
What, they get hammered?
Well, they're 0-3,
Mhm.
so they have yet to win.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course, they still have Markkanen and those guys, so they shouldn't be terrible, but they haven't won. And Taylor Hendricks.
That damn Danny Ainge.
Did you see the Taylor Hendricks injury?
No, I did not.
Weirdest injury, but he was the number 9 overall pick.
Mhm.
He was running down the court and basically just hip dropped himself. He slipped.
Mm.
And he-
I saw this.
Did
It
you
was
see that?
horrible?
Yeah,
Horrible.
he's out for, I saw he was out for the year,
He's
but
done for the
I
year.
didn't see the injury.
Oh, leg flopping around.
Yeah, it was one of those crooked leg things.
Oh, yeah, I see it right here.
So he slipped. He was by himself,
Yeah.
slipped, and he kind of hip dropped his own leg.
Are we saying? Oh my God! Did Danny Ainge
fractured his femur?
Did Danny Ainge think is there some sort of like spy versus
Or maybe it
spy
was
thing?
tibula, not his femur.
Yeah, the femur's your upper one.
Yeah, it'd be the
it'd be the 2 lower bones
Yeah.
in your leg, dude. That thing is gnarly.
Yeah.
It's Aiden Hutchinson style, and you're right.
That's a really bad.
He hip drop tackled himself.
It's a really bad injury,
Oh,
and
gosh.
he's now out. I mean, is Danny freaking? See,
gonna
I'm
do it
telling
again.
you,
They're gonna do it again.
The Blazers better watch out. They better not win meaningless games, okay? Because you got some guys playing chess here.
Yeah.
And I think Danny Ainge is one of them.
Well, and
Be careful.
Cooper Flag, he's a what?
He's a what?
Going
Exactly.
to Utah to pair him with Markkanen?
You're already falling behind Utah for the number 1 pick
Yeah, I don't
for
like
the
this.
odds.
I don't like this at all.
So watch out for them.
I love
Next
it.
thing you know, they're going to trade Markkanen. You watch. They will. They tried to trade him in the offseason.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, they didn't. The Warriors wanted him, and Ainge didn't want to get rid of him. But
0 for 3.
Yeah, Draymond was on his podcast blaming Ainge for the Warriors not being able to make a deal that would get Lauri Markkanen and Paul George to Golden State. He said that Ainge just wouldn't play ball.
well, the Blazers, if they're smart, should be in good position to get Cooper Flag
One would think.
because they suck.
Yeah, they're not. any
But
good.
you can't be just
Yeah,
winning
Flags!
games.
No, you don't like it.
You
It's
just
like
can't.
That back-to-back Pelicans game. Like, let's not.
Yeah,
Well, last
exactly.
night was great, right? Because like Scoot coming off the bench had a nice game. Like you were down big and then you pushed it and kind of made it competitive
Yeah.
and then you still lost.
Perfect.
That's what you need. What
Yep.
we need to do is get the Jeremy Grants out of here.
That's right.
Like Jeremy Grant is still playing good ball.
Trade his ass.
Yeah, get his ass out of there, dude. Get I guess Klingon's only playing like 10 minutes a night because he gets gassed.
Youth
Well,
movement.
Then get Ayton out of there and if Klingon gets gassed, so be it. Let him be tired.
So the Pistons
Work
are-
on that conditioning. Let him be bad
Exactly.
while he works on that
Yeah,
conditioning.
the Pistons are over.
Yeah, the Pistons are going to be trouble.
Yeah.
They clearly are committed to losing every game.
Especially after they got hosed in the lottery twice,
Yes.
getting like moving down.
I truly believe that the Detroit Pistons have been tanking for like 19 years. And they keep getting high picks, and it doesn't matter. They still suck. The other one I saw today is, did you see Doc Rivers' record now? Because the Bucks are 1-3. I got to pull it up. Doc Rivers now has a significantly worse record than when he took over, when they fired old what's-his-nuts. Who was the ex-player that they canned, the first-year coach?
Adrian Griffin?
Yeah, when they fired him. Doc Rivers now, I think Doc is like 18-23 since taking over as the Milwaukee coach.
Is he really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good.
It's not going well there, is it?
No, it is not. So, it's that whole, Dame and Giannis together and, titles and
Can I play a Souk drop?
yeah. It's not going well right now for Doc Rivers.
Good.
You know.
Screw them. So the Pistons are 0-4, the Jazz are 0-3, and the Jazz are losing by a point differential of 17. That is double the Pistons.
Yeah, man.
Watch out, man.
What Danny Ainge
Ainge
knows,
is coming for Cooper Flag.
He knows what he's doing.
So the Blazers better be careful. And I know it's early, but it's never too early.
Now,
Yeah, Flag!
start stacking those losses together. Come on, let's go. Last night was a good one. Let's get more of that.
All right, is basketball broken? And
oh yeah, Doc. By the way, 18-22.
Should we bring? Oh well, that's not nearly as bad as you said. 8-23.
No, I said 18-23.
You said 8.
No, he said 18. I heard 18-23.
No, I heard,
That's what I heard.
And so after yesterday's loss, they are 18-23 now in since Doc took over, which is a significantly worse record than the guy that they fired.
And should we bring back fighting to the NBA?
Ooh.
Now we're talking.
Yeah,
One
hockey
coach
style.
thinks so. That's next on The Fan.
Oregon Ducks football. The Fan.
Coming up next hour, we will discuss why the former Pac-12 teams, sans Oregon, are struggling so much. But we are in the middle of the NBA runaround where I teased, should the NBA bring back fighting?
Ain't gonna be no buddy stuff.
There is a coach who is advocating for that very thing.
I got a good idea who this is.
A current NBA coach. He says, "What's more entertaining than a little scuffle?"
Well, there's a difference between a little scuffle and like, are we going hockey fighting?
Well, I
Think
mean,
you're allowed to.
right? It's
Yeah,
like
I mean, define.
they don't really fight.
Yeah.
They never really fight. But Joe Mazzulla
The Celtics are the balls.
of the Boston Celtics, who's insane.
Yeah, he's clearly a psycho, but yeah.
He is totally a psycho.
Yeah, but they won a title, and they clearly the best team in the NBA right now.
Like if I said name the top 5 psychopaths in sports,
No, he's number one.
he's in the top 5.
Dude, just to look at it, and he watches the town all the time. And,
Missoula or Harbaugh?
no,
Jim.
Well, Harbaugh's just an ass. I mean, he's
a little nuts too.
Yeah,
He
dude.
is a little nuts,
Yeah, I'm
but I
still-
don't know that he's Missoula nuts.
Yeah, yeah.
Like who are our top 5 sports psychos?
Well, the Vancouver Ford text line will help us out with this. Who could challenge Joe Mazzulla as the biggest sports psycho? I was thinking just coaches, but I mean, I bet you could come up with plenty of athletes who have what he's
Well,
got
if
going
you're going coaches, I mean, if you're non-coaches, I mean, like,
yeah, so we're just talking coaches.
I mean, like, have you ever seen what Anthony Brown's doing? I mean,
Anthony Brown.
Anthony Brown, like
who's
or
Anthony
not
Brown?
Anthony?
Anthony
Brown, excuse
Edwards?
me, Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, if
well,
we're-
he's not in sports anymore though.
Well, he's not. Well, that's. I
But
guess
yes,
that's,
he
that's
he would
true.
be in the 5 years ago. He would have been on the list.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think of. So you're going current guys,
Coaches,
not analysts or anything, because.
Well, yeah, analysts. Top 5.
Any sports psycho.
Any sports psycho.
Okay.
Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin's stabbing dudes in
He's
the neck with
psych.
scissors. Like at any
That's a good
time,
one.
he's just on the sidelines freaking the F out over like everything. The dude's insane. 100%.
That's good.
Yeah.
Girl, you something else.
Is Kim Mulkey a sports psycho?
Kim Mulkey's a sports
Yeah,
psycho.
she's an ass.
She's.
She seems a little crazy.
Yes. That's.
I don't know if she's top 5.
I don't know, man. She'd be in my top 5. That's again, she's just frothing. Look, Baylor was accused of 56 rapes, and she was like, "If you don't send your kid to Baylor, I'll punch you in the face." You're like, really, Kim? Cool. That seems smart.
Well, anyway, Missoula, here's his quote. He said, "The biggest thing we rob people of from an entertainment standpoint is you can't fight anymore. I wish we'd bring back fighting. What's more entertaining than a little scuffle? How come in baseball they're allowed to clear the benches? How come in hockey they're allowed to fight? I don't understand. I just don't get why some sports are allowed to clear the benches. They have bats and weapons in baseball. We don't. We have a ball. The other sport, hockey, has one of the hardest playing surfaces and a puck and a stick, and yet we're not allowed to throw down a little bit."
Well, but he's kind of a moron.
Does he really not know?
He's kind of dumb here because baseball doesn't allow fighting, jackass.
No, they don't allow any fighting,
you
and they don't get to hit each other with those sticks.
No, you get run. The only sport that allows fighting is hockey.
And no one can jump in.
No. So
it's just two guys.
Yeah. By the way, I've long said that I would love it if you add a hockey structure because I think it polices itself. The NBA, but the NBA doesn't want this. The NBA is the softest ass league full of pretend.
But
tough
that would
guys.
solve this real quick.
It would solve it real
who's
quick.
who and like who can talk to who.
But
yeah.
even in hockey, like the skilled players don't fight. You can't have a tough guy fight a skilled guy. If you do, you're going to get murdered by the other team. Like so, it's weird in hockey. It's like there's certain guys that are allowed to do it. So it's a weird culture. But yes, I do think it'd be fantastic if in the NBA you did have to back up your mouth by actually throwing down. And I also feel that the NBA would get a lot of guys that would try to fight until someone that actually knew how to fight came along.
A lot of guys would get slept, and that'd be the last time they fought.
Yeah.
I would put, you know what I would do is if they allowed fighting back in the NBA, somebody would hire me as the coach because of course, and I would have Bill Embiid and Charles Oakley on my team.
There you go.
And then 3 really good players.
Yeah.
And those 2 old men.
Well, it begs the question, even with the current NBA, if fighting were a thing, who's the enforcer that's in the league right now that you want?
There's a cat. He's a power forward. Like his brother's a professional MMA fighter.
Oh.
And like he's got like 4 black belts.
Well,
He's
who's the dude that took out the Pride of Troutdale? Isaiah Stewart? Was that
yeah,
him?
Isaiah Stewart. There's an NBA
Stewart?
player whose name is going to escape me, but like he is a literal like he could by all accounts he could
We've
go be
talked about this guy before.
he could
Who
go
is
be
that?
a professional fighter. Like, and no one wants anything to do with that guy. I just can't remember what his name is. But he's not a great player. He's not a great player, but you're like, yeah, I'm gonna leave that guy alone. Like Steven Adams is one that
It's
that
James Johnson.
James Johnson. Yeah. I guess that dude has like 4 or 5 different black belts.
Yeah, he is a trained MMA fighter himself who also happens to be a basketball player.
Yeah. So it's like that guy. Like, Again, everyone always wants to be a fighter until you get hit in the head, and then you're like, oh, that kind of sucks.
What about Josh Giddey?
Is he the last guy you'd take as your enforcer?
That was a joke.
Is there a bunch of 15-year-old girls running around out there? Oh, like you never know. Like Steve Blake, like I guess he was kind of a badass.
Yeah,
and you wouldn't have known it. Like, sometimes the dude you don't think about.
Yeah, there's video. Steve Blake, who did he knock out in his Maryland practice? It was like Juan Dixon or something like that.
Yeah, Dame does a bunch of that boxing stuff. I don't know if he actually fights anyone, but he supposedly knows how to throw hands. There's just nothing worse than when you see like an NBA fight and they throw punches like little girls. Whereas back in the day, you throw down, and you know why they don't have that? Kermit Washington almost killed Rudy Tomjanovich. Like he
broke his jaw on the spot.
Yeah, it had a spinal fluid leak, shattering his face. It was like, yeah, that's kind of a rough. But when you go back and watch like those like Kurt Rambis, like Kevin McHale things, like dude, they were like literally punching people and like clotheslining them Dick Night Train Lane, and no one. There's like, it's fine. It's the NBA. Maurice Lucas days. That would be kind of fun.
What if the NBA just started signing MMA guys?
Every roster gets one.
Yeah, crossover fighter guys.
And then you have to decide how valuable that person is. Do you
Yeah.
spend how much money you spend on your
Right.
MMA fighter?
And then do you train them up to shoot some threes?
Yeah. Do they add anything else? They have good court vision.
Francis Ngannou's like someone's backup power forward. John Jones coming off the bench. Like, it'd be quite interesting. Get Dana White involved. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well,
good ideas, guys.
I think it is. I think they are. I think we are. I think that's right.
Joe Mazzulla.
He's insane.
Yeah, he is.
But I dig him
I
because
like the
his
style.
team is breaking basketball, by the way.
Yeah, dude, they're kicking everyone's ass.
They're unbelievable.
And you see what Peyton Pritchard's doing? That dude is lighting it up. He set the Celtics record last night for threes off the bench. He went 8 for 12, including a buzzer beater.
They're shooting like 60 a night.
Well, you can't really stop them.
They're really good.
Because
There's no weakness.
And when Peyton Pritchard, like when you put Peyton Pritchard on the Blazers, he's going to struggle because teams can just close out on him. With Boston, every one of those guys can shoot. So it's just who's open, shoot it, you're good.
Who's open, who's hot.
I mean, it's real. They're really good. So what percentage of all shots in the NBA are three-pointers, do you think? I have the number.
Ooh, good question.
This is a test.
That's a good question.
This is so far this season.
So far this season.
And it is up from last season, I will tell you that.
Boy, that is intriguing. So I'm going to say 35%.
I'll go higher. I'm going to say like 48%.
Right in the middle, it's 42%
Okay.
of all shots in the NBA are threes. That is up from 39% last year. The Celtics are doubling down this year.
Yeah.
They're shooting, I mean,
I saw-
60 a game.
Yeah, in the Milwaukee game, I think they had, I want to say it was like 48 or 49, and people were like, "That's a reasonable amount." little down for Boston.
Do people like this though? Like, is this?
I don't. I
What
think
can be?
it's-
Does something need to be done about this? Because it's just the evolution of the game. I totally get
It's
why.
natural. What would you do though?
Well,
like I think it was Nick Wright who normally he looks like a vampire, but he had, I want to say it was a week ago, I saw it come across my timeline. It was about a 4 or 5 minute thing, and it was look, he made some valid points in that. He talked about, in baseball, the mound height, banning the shift, limiting the number of, the relief pitchers. You have to throw to more than, obviously the one batter. And the NFL not being allowed to, to mug receivers anymore. He did talk about that there have been other leagues that have had to make changes because the neutral zone trap in hockey. You've had to make changes because while it's effective, it makes for a horrible viewing experience.
You have to make sure the product maintains
And at
itself.
the end of the day, we can say all we want that this is sports and it's competitive, but it's really not. It's entertainment. Like it just is. You can say, oh, it's a sport first. It's not. It's entertainment because if no one watches, it doesn't matter that you're the best.
it's really a tough watch.
And so right now, yes, when you look at the current state of the NBA, it is not a great product. And he said that sooner or later the NBA is going to have to sit down and figure out that this is not a sustainable thing because it's only going to get worse and more teams are going to keep doing this. And as it happens, the casual viewer is not going to be roped into this.
It's just so, like, to me, it just so simplifies a beautiful sport.
Yeah.
Right? It's like shooting a 3-point jumper is a skill.
Yeah.
But it's one skill in a myriad of elements that make basketball great.
Yeah.
And so if it's just kind of diluted down to where just everybody shoots threes, like,
well, it's tough because
well, hold on, you're missing, you're not allowing the fans to see what everybody on the floor can do, right? Like we want the athleticism of the NBA is incredible.
Yeah.
They're incredible.
Best athletes in the world.
But you don't really, that's not really on display when they're chucking up threes every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
You want to see alley-oops and running the floor and motion, people moving on offense, and it's just become so ISO and so stagnant that I think it's really hurt the entertainment value of the game.
Well, the numbers part of it, it makes sense for everyone to try and do it, but so few people can actually do it that it's like, I guess it makes sense for the Celtics, but it definitely doesn't make sense for everyone, and it doesn't make sense for everyone who's trying to be the Celtics to try the same thing. It feels like there almost needs to be a penalty for doing it poorly to incentivize you from not doing it. Like if you lost a point every time you missed a 3-pointer instead of gaining one, or I even heard him say, like, make the dunk worth 3 points again. Or not again, but make it worth 3 so that there's as much appeal to doing that as shooting it deep.
Yeah, it's just this is.
Yeah, I need a more around the rim game. It's just way more interesting.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough watch for me.
Well, it's a tough watch for everyone.
Yeah, I mean,
well, not everyone.
Yeah, I mean,
most people.
They're gonna have the diehards. They're gonna love it. But I even hear from people that love the NBA. I mean, love it. It's their favorite sport. That say it's
not good, man.
It's a tough watch.
But the Celtic, the elite teams are always fun to watch no matter how they play.
Yeah.
Like I could watch Boston play all night, even though they chuck 63s. They're freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But that's 5 teams.
Yeah.
4 teams.
Yeah.
What about after that? I don't want to watch a mediocre team shoot 63s.
Yeah, and that's what you get. You get a lot of bad teams. And as someone says on the Vancouver Ford text line, the NBA has turned into a glorified 24-hour fitness pickup game. It's true, man. You just go down and you launch, and you can't even be a true big anymore. If you're going to be a 7-footer, great. You still got to step back and shoot the 3. It just is. I mean, Zach Edey was shooting 3s. Dude, that's like
How's he doing?
That's the biggest plotting human being to come into the NBA in forever. And what did they have him do in the NBA, like the draft process? They're like, well, look at Edey adding a 3-point shot to his game.
He is an idiot.
How's he doing?
He had a good preseason.
I think he was doing well early, but also fouling out a lot. They paired him with John Morant in Memphis.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in Memphis.
Yeah, he's in Memphis. Like he was having a nice preseason from what I was reading about him. But to be honest with you, I can't say that I've paid a lot of attention to Memphis regular season basketball.
By the way, Isaac, you brought this show up recently. Someone in the YouTube chat saying that there was a Portlandia episode where Fred and Carrie coached the Blazers and just told them to try and dunk every time.
Really? Fantastic.
Looks like Zach Edey is starting, and he's giving you about 7 points and 5 rebounds a game. So
great.
There you go. The greatness it is, Zach Edey.
It is true. Like Dirk or whoever you want to go back to.
He has the second best favorite odds to win Rookie of the Year behind Zachary Rissache.
Really?
Yeah.
Like LaMarcus was like this. Those guys, the 7-footers shooting the 3s.
Yeah.
Whenever that started, I mean, I guess Dirk did it so well that
Dirk kind
of ushered that in.
People around here will say Sabonis.
Yeah,
but I mean
that's true.
I know he didn't do it to that degree, but I've heard many
him
Blazer
down.
fans say that he should get some credit for that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who you credit.
It was the Europeans.
For me, it was Dirk because he was just so high profile and it was such a beautiful shot, and he really mastered it. Like he was the one guy who was over, who was not a guard.
Mm-hmm.
Who would shoot and it would be a fadeaway 3-pointer or something, and you would love the shot.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you're like, what the hell? Like LaMarcus Aldridge used to drive me so crazy. At his height, he would shoot that 15-footer, and it just was so dumb.
Yeah.
And it's actually been proven to be dumb.
Yeah, don't
the
shoot it.
analytics showed that that's a dumb shot.
You either shoot at the rim or you shoot at the.
And
at
he
the
would settle for that, and it just drove me nuts.
But at the same time, there is some beauty into that mid-range game, which doesn't exist anymore, because the analytics have driven it out. But we say the same thing about baseball, right? Like, the analytics tell you it's hard to move guys over and to hit for average. And so no one does it anymore, right? You got a lot of strikeouts, low averages, but you hit bombs. And this is the same argument people had against baseball, is that the analytics have ruined the sport. And, baseball at least tried to do something about it.
I know. I think the NBA needs to adjust.
I would agree.
It's a tough watch. There is your NBA runaround for Tuesday.
Give me a backdoor cut, bitch.
That's right. Where's Princeton when you need him?
It's emotion.
Now that's basketball.
Those Warrior teams shot a lot of threes, but I thought that was a really fun team to watch.
And you know what else they had on that first championship run was Sean Livingston killing them off other teams off the bench with the mid-range game. He loved the mid-range.
In the news is next. The cop car rammer has been captured. Here's Buck. right, nice to have you along. We're running a little behind today. We're very sportsy, sports and hard.
Sports.
We love sports.
Well, we had to figure out how to adjudicate fighting in basketball.
Sports is sports.
That's right. It is October 29, 2024. It's time now for In the News. I'm your noted newsman. Hello. And thank you. Please be seated.
I got you.
It is National Oatmeal Day.
No.
Do you like oatmeal?
I do. Well, I eat a lot of oatmeal. I'm not going to say that I necessarily like it, but it's an easy, nice little health food. Keeps you full.
It is also National Hermit Day.
Oh, there you go.
Dave the Hermit.
There you go. You old curmudgeons sitting out there, I don't know, in the woods. I always think of a hermit in the woods, the scraggly woods.
You thinking of a hobbit?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think of like, you know, it doesn't have to be necessarily be the
Hermit,
woods,
hobbit.
but, you know, hermit away from everybody.
Most hobbits probably are hermits.
I would think so.
So did you see that there was somebody put up a Trump statue over the weekend? It was a parody statue of Donald J. Trump.
That was the nude one, right?
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't nude. He was in a suit.
I thought the statue
But it was right next to the nude woman sculpture.
Oh, that's what it was.
And it was a shot at Trump's sexual.
Yeah. He's got some issues. He was convicted of.
It's basically, well, it said lifetime of sexual assault.
Yeah.
So it was ironically honoring Trump.
Sure.
Now, what ended up happening was somebody came by and took the Trump statue.
Oh.
Did you know that?
No.
The very next day.
Pro-Trump, they just got rid of it because they.
Okay, what do you think?
I would assume it was a pro-Trumper that took it because they wanted to get it out of there.
That is correct, and he is running for city council.
Oh, hey, congratulations. Like, these things are so stupid. First off, whoever put this up, it influences no one. And then the idiot that's like, oh, I can't allow this to stand, so you go and take it down. Like, what are you doing? Like, this makes no difference other than you're going to get yourself all tangled.
Portland City Council District 4 candidate and self-described fearless Trump supporter Brandon Farley.
He is without fear. That is great.
Made a public statement of his own Sunday by partially destroying a Donald Trump parody statue placed downtown over the weekend.
But he couldn't fully destroy it?
Well, I think
Snowflake?
he only took the plaque. Yeah, there was a plaque. So everything was placed next to the celebrated female nude sculpture used in former Mayor Bud Clark's Expose Yourself to Art poster.
Okay.
So this guy shows up, films himself removing the plaque with a chisel because people need to show respect for our next president, he said. The plaque was...
Actually, they don't.
Here's what he said. The plaque was meant to mock him through a gross mischaracterization by saying, in honor of a lifetime of sexual assault, if that were true, he would have several criminal convictions on his record, and he would most certainly be a registered sex offender. I would not support such a man.
Well, he does have a conviction.
Doesn't he have all of those things?
Well, I mean, come on. Like, to be a...
I love that he took it upon himself. He's like, yeah, go film it.
I love cows.
Yeah. Good work, buddy. Smart move, because that's worth it. So is this
Well, that would be like saying, like, I was trying to think of an example. I think the best example, it would be like saying, I would never support Deshaun Watson for president because he's a sexual abuser.
Yeah.
Well, he's not a sexual abuser because there is no criminal record of it.
No, but Trump's actually been convicted. Just say it.
Well, but even if he hasn't, like, the idea that I love Deshaun Watson and I'm going to support him because there's no criminal record of his sexual offenses, even though we all know he is a sexual offender.
Sure.
That's rich. Like to say that someone who is so awful to other people, namely women, like Deshaun Watson, to say that I will support him because he hasn't been convicted, even though we all know he did it.
Sure.
But if he had convictions, I would never support such a man. I mean, that's the dumbest. Honestly, it's the dumbest thing I've heard all week, and I've heard some dumb crap here.
So did he get in trouble for doing this, or?
I don't know. Who cares?
We just know that he's a candidate for city council. He's not going to win, but he was out there chiseling statues and plaques. All right, well, way to go, Brandon. Hopefully that makes you feel.
Hey, let's go, Brandon.
There you go.
Look
Hopefully
at that.
Makes you feel better about yourself. I'd just like to
Well,
point
but
to
what
anyone.
if that were a statue of his political opponent? Would he then be okay with that being up? Probably would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would assume so. And,
So we got a city council guy who just he's okay with freedom of expression, but only when it's his candidate. Is that right? Is that how we're to understand this here?
I'm just saying, this is my burning ballots, defacing property. None of that stuff is worth it. You're just screwing over your own life for someone that either side that doesn't care about you, and it makes no difference. So just stop. Stop ruining your life for really, really unimportant things that aren't going to make a difference.
Well, to them, it's very important.
I know, and that blows my mind.
But their involvement still is going to be inconsequential to
Yes.
the world at large.
This is not going to make a difference
So
in the
don't
election.
screw yourself over in the process.
Got to do their part.
Stop screwing yourself
Well,
over.
I'm guessing it probably hurts you in your city council race.
It's probably not.
Brandon.
You're not going to win that one anyways. But
You dope. God. A man accused of ramming several police cars with a stolen car last week was arrested Monday after a standoff.
Yeah. Can't do that either.
This in Tigard.
Yeah, it seems like a no-brainer.
A man reported his car had been stolen in a burglary in Portland, and he tracked it to the Tigard Walmart. Officers arrived to the store parking lot, then saw a man and woman come out and get into the stolen car. They then boxed in the stolen car to prevent it from leaving, but the driver rammed the patrol cars and several parked cars. The suspect then put the car in reverse, went over a curb, fire hydrant, and nearly hit two officers and took off.
Yeah, you realize that if you ram a cop with your car, they can shoot you because that's a deadly weapon. So again, you should probably not doing that.
Well, they got away.
Yeah, they got away.
They got down I-5. Officers did pursue them, but then stopped due to safety concerns.
Yeah.
4 patrol cars and 2 parked cars were damaged. No one was hurt. The suspect was identified as 47-year-old Richard Wilson. And on Monday, they found him near an apartment complex on Southwest Hunziker Road.
Yeah, so
as he ran through a wooded area.
So now he's taken into custody and again will go spend a lot of time in jail.
A Hillsborough police canine tracked him to a collapsed pop-up trailer in the backyard of a home on Cherry Drive. It's almost like a Sarniev Boston bomber type situation
Yeah,
here.
a little bit, right? Just found him hiding out in there. Yeah, they found the Boston bomber at the boat.
Was not expecting a Sarniev reference today.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I had a dream about him the other night.
Did you really?
I did. He killed me in my dream.
In your dream?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Were you a runner?
Was I a runner? No.
You just encountered
he came
him
to
randomly?
my house and shot me.
He came for Rop?
Interesting.
Didn't like the Asachi brand,
all
huh?
the random people that you could have assassinate you?
I know, it was weird.
Although, is it really assassinating you? All the people you could have to kill you? That guy?
For over an hour, officers, along with the Washington County Tactical Negotiations Team and Crisis Negotiations Unit, tried to talk with him and get him to come out. Ultimately, he came out, and he was arrested.
So, enjoy your prison sentence. What was he wanted for originally? Stealing the car?
Yeah, it was a stolen car.
Yeah, stolen car.
And they took it to Walmart
Well,
to get some things.
I don't know what the penalty for stealing a car is, but I'm guessing it's a lot less than, trying to run over some cops. So, just saying. I don't think you really go to prison for stealing a car.
People should just consult you before they make dumb moves, it sounds like.
Just might want to think about before you ramp up.
Well, I think
Like a
therein lies
risk-reward sort of thing.
Therein lies the problem, Jace. I think that's the big problem here is that we don't have a lot of thinkers.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, if you steal a car and then you get caught stealing a car, I'm sure there's a fine, and I don't know, like maybe you go to jail for like 10 days, whatever. Maybe you do a month or two, but when they're like, hey, we've come to arrest you for stealing that car, and then you run over the cops, guessed you're doing more than the 3 or 4 weeks.
Have you ever seen a bald eagle swim?
No,
because I have.
That's kind of cool.
That's next on The Fan.
This is The Fan's Window into Stories, brought to you by Window Nation. Online at windownation.com.
One out, the 1-2. Swing and a ball driven right field, way back, and forget it. It's gone. Freddie Freeman has homered for the 3rd straight game in this World Series, and now 5 consecutive World Series games.
Isn't it crazy? Like, we came into this series thinking that Freddie Freeman was hobbled and wasn't even going to be able to do much. Now he's he's a game away from being the MVP.
Should he even play?
Just give it to him now in his giant teeth.
Shohei's overrated.
He can't even lift his arm at this point.
Window into Nation. Window into Sports brought to you by Window Nation. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, 0 down, no interest or payments for 24 months. Schedule your estimate right now by calling 866-90Nation or going to windownation.com.
The home of Dirt and Spray.
I'm Dirt. A lot of people are going to say, no, Dante Moore's the dude.
We should put Nick Saban's "Art" in that song.
Got to throw it in there.
That's my random thought.
I like where we go with that.
You like where
It would
we go
make
with
for a
that?
good mashup or a little DJ set.
Yeah, because he says "I," and all I can hear is Nick Saban going "Art." Honey, go ahead and turn that lamp off.
What?
That is Rop
You don't
doing
remember
Nick
that?
Saban. What is he going to do in retirement? Just tell his wife what to do?
Honey, go ahead and turn that lamp off.
Hey, Nick's staying busy, man. I think he does a nice job on the game day show.
That show's faceless has been pretty good.
Yes, they've done a nice job.
Bring back Lee Corso.
He is?
No.
He's already there.
More Lee.
Did you see him at Indiana?
No.
Yeah, they rolled out the red carpet for him. You know, he coached in Indiana.
I don't care. I was just kidding.
It was very touching.
They
They did a big Lee Corso tribute because he coached there.
Rob with no heart.
I won't watch it again until he's off of there.
Google me, bitch.
About that? Is that a hot take?
It's your hot take. Yeah, I like where you're going with that.
Thanks.
I don't think they miss you, but
Well, they only get like 2 million viewers. It's not that great.
is that how much they get now?
Mm-hmm.
But I remember when that
They
thing,
keep touting that. And
I
it's
remember
like,
when that thing was a juggernaut. Well, TV, man, it's hard to get people to tune in on to anything.
Anything
nowadays.
outside of live events now is really difficult.
Yeah.
This is in the news. Oct 29. You can shove that up your little pumpkin ass. We're almost to Halloween.
Almost.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, it kind of snuck up on me. Again, I don't know why. Now that my kids are older and like people don't come trick-or-treating in my house, Halloween just kind of comes and goes. I have no concept. Like I thought like Sprague was dressed up today, so I was like, guys, today Halloween?
Why?
Oh, I think he's a Halloween guy. I think he dresses up.
It's not even Halloween though.
That's what, like when I heard this morning when I was walking the dog and they were talking about him being dressed up, I was like, oh my God, it's Halloween? And then I was like, oh wait, no. Tomorrow's not even Halloween. So I don't know why he's dressed up now. I think he's doing like different costumes. I think he's doing bits every day.
My son is so excited about Halloween that he went to school today as a caped construction worker 2 days before the celebration.
A caped construction worker?
He has a cape because he was going to be a little witch, but he also has a construction worker outfit, and he thought that for Halloween he needed to put it all together, even though it's still 2 days away. So he was a caped construction worker showing up to school today with no one else dressed up.
They let him do that?
Oh, yeah.
You're damn right they do.
I let him do that, damn it.
Could you have your kids show up in a cape every day?
I don't know.
Because like when my kids were in school, they were very strict about no costumes except on Halloween, and they wouldn't even let you wear them the full day.
Yeah, and to be fair, once he got inside and he like went to put his little stuff away, he threw it all in his cubby. So
yeah, because you had to like you would stop and you could change for the Halloween party, but you couldn't wear it all day because it was a distraction. So thus leads the question: if I wore a cape, if I sent my kid to school every day in a cape, and we're like, it's not a costume, it's his cape. Would you be able to stop my kid from wearing a cape?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
He's expressing himself.
But is a cape considered a costume, or is a cape just a? I don't know. Is cape considered?
If it's functional,
it's
probably couldn't take it away.
It's called style.
So is there like if he just wore a black cape, and then if he had a Superman cape? I'm asking questions.
You have a caped construction worker photo coming your way now, just so you have the idea.
I kind of want to see a kid just show up every day now in a Superman cape.
Yeah, you're just like, Batman 365 days a year.
At least the Batman cape, though, that's just a black cape.
Yeah.
So you can make the, like, I don't know, do they even sell capes anymore for everyday use? What about a cloak?
They do. You're going to think this is so stupid. One of my best friends was in global distribution of capes and cloaks.
What?
Yeah. There's a whole like Renaissance fair community and fantasy LARPing and like people all over the world want to buy capes and cloaks.
Really?
And my buddy was like a VP for a company of that for a while.
Now is I'm seeing your son here.
Yeah.
Does he have his PJs on there?
No, those are just patterned sweatpants.
Okay.
They have like no, they're not PJs. They kind of look like it.
He's
though.
got a lot going on there.
He sure does.
Nah, the kids.
I'm looking up where to buy a cloak right now. Looks like a nice cloak will run you about $70 for a nice hooded.
What's the difference between a cloak and a cape?
Well, a cloak has a hood.
Oh,
maybe that is the difference.
And then the cloak is more. The cloak wraps around you, where you could like a snuggie, whereas the cape is more just behind you.
So vampires wear cloaks?
I think vampires can go either way, but yes, the vampire is going to be more cloaky, whereas the cape is going to be more superhero style. Like Batman wears a cape, Superman has a cape, the Harry Potter of the world would have a cloak. If you were the Jedi Knight, that would be a cloak as well. You know,
Harry Potter was very big when my buddy was doing the whole cloak biz.
I kind of now want to start wearing a cloak.
I can get you one.
Just show, yeah. Can you get
Anybody
me
calls you on it, just tell them you identify.
I
as
can
a
get you a
vampire.
cloak.
Give me discount cloak prices.
I can
Let's
probably
go.
get you a free cloak.
Well, I'll get to my bald eagle news tomorrow. We've run out of time talking capes and cloaks.
Does he work for Raven Fox Cloaks and Capes?
I will ask him who he worked for. Now he works at Home Mortgage.
I'm
not
in a
cloaks.
deep dive now into Raven Fox Cloaks and Capes, and when you sign on, you have to take a quiz to find out what type of cloak wearer are you. Which I'm now gonna have to.
I love that.
During the break, I'm gonna have to take the quiz.
Sounds like we're pushing the Hot 5 at 5.
There's in the news for October 29, 2024. It is brought to you by the Advocates Injury Attorneys at advocateslaw.com. The Hot 5 at 5 is coming up next. A couple of NFL trades today. And a college quarterback suddenly, or maybe not so suddenly, retires. Another one. That's next on The Fan.
Need inspiration? Chef Fred Meyer for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with this Sports Center update. First on The Fan, just moments away from Game 4 of the World Series. The Dodgers can sweep their way to the title tonight. They're going with a bullpen game started by Ben Kasparius. The Yankees send Luis Gil to the mound as they look to stay in the series. First pitch at 5:08. In the NFL, Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson benched in Indianapolis. Joe Flacco taking over as the starting QB. The Ravens add some depth to their receiving corps. They acquire receiver Deontay Johnson from the Panthers as part of a pick swap. The Texans take a hit to their receiving corps. Stephon Diggs has been ruled out for the season with a torn ACL. Down in Eugene, a welcome sight on the Oregon Ducks practice field as both Terrence Ferguson and Jordan Birch have reportedly returned. Birch is working his way back from a knee injury. Ferguson working his way back from an appendectomy. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley at the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Jump back to earlier parts of your favorite fan shows on the Odyssey app. The only way to rewind Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan.
Good afternoon. At the tone, Pacific Daylight Time will be...
It's 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock.
One step closer to my own personal hell.
This is Primetime on Sports Radio 1080 The Fan.
We expect the best. We're not afraid to break someone. Do you hear me?
Primetime is your source for the best in local, regional, and national sports.
Go ahead and clap. Mediocrity deserves applause.
Isaac Rodden.
I'm miserable. I had to get up at 10 o'clock this morning.
Jason Sakanet.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Primetime on 1080 The Fan.
All right. Welcome back. Hope you're having a nice little Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's your Sports Bros, Rop and Sook. I'm Rop. Big Sook's right over there.
And I just found out I did take the Raven Fox Capes and Cloaks cloak quiz, and it turns out that I am a traveling/adventure cloak wearer. And it is recommended that I purchase the men's hooded inky black velvet cloak with pockets.
Black velvet?
Black velvet.
Sweet.
Yes.
Well, hello there.
Kind of excited about this. Sometimes you want to shine, and when you do, we've got you covered. Yeah, they adore this soft and shiny velvet that this cloak has to offer. And it also has a gorgeous drape. And, of course, don't forget the pockets, because as a road traveler and adventurer, I need pockets. Pretty excited.
It's the medieval times version of cargo pants.
It really is.
Who best wore the cloak?
Ooh. I would say, like, the Jedi robes, right? Like, isn't that a...
Yeah, like the Sith Lords.
Yeah, like the the Sith Lord.
You don't go
Emperor
back to the old
Palpatine or whatever.
Greeks.
Did they wear the cloaks? I thought that was more of like a... Is that a tote? Did they cloak it?
Yeah.
Think of like monks, you know?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Men of the cloth.
Yeah, I think that is a very... The Pope, right? I mean...
Like Vatican-style monks.
Is that a cloak?
I think so. I mean...
I don't think it is.
No? See, now that we're getting into this, because I see historical figures that wore capes, but that's not necessarily the same thing as a cloak. Like, they're going Dracula and Superman. Zorro.
Ooh, Zorro, that's good.
Julius Caesar wore one.
Isn't the Pope in a robe?
Well, the
so to
robe,
speak?
the robe and the cloak. I think if you take a robe and you add a hood, it's kind of a cloak. Although
I think the difference is a robe has sleeves. Cloaks and capes do not.
Yeah, that's true. I did find a list.
Cloak is like a warm shell.
Yeah, a lot of Lord of the Rings. We're getting to a lot of the characters from Lord of the Rings. Jon Snow, Game of Thrones.
He had a big bear cloak. Yeah,
that's pretty kick-ass.
There's some good Game of Thrones cloaks.
Yeah. I feel like we've lost something when we've gone away from the cloak.
Gandalf, Dumbledore.
Yeah.
They had good cloaks.
Yeah. There's something to be said, like when you're in like bad weather, you just throw on the cloak a little bit, but it still has the freedom, of movement.
Jon Snow was in the north with that thing. He was fine.
Yeah, I think we need to
Didn't
bring
even need
back.
a hat.
I think we need to bring back the cloak, and I'm going to do my part with my adventure velvet cloak. It's going to start showing up in it. The Grim Reaper, there's one.
Very famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying that the Pope wears a cassock.
Cossack? A Cossack.
Cossack? It's Cassock.
Yeah, because that has sleeves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's got the big Pope hat.
It's kind of like a dress, really.
Yeah, a little bit, like a muumuu, but like more ornate. And then that Pope hat, I'd like to check out what that Pope hat has going on. What's that made of? Is it heavy? Because it's enormous. And is like, does that have structure
the papal
inside?
crown?
Or is it just starched real well? I would think that it's very uncomfortable to be the Pope.
Hashtag bring back the muumuu.
Yeah.
I love those.
Oh, my mom's a muumuu lady. Loves it. Goes to the dress barn. Pick her up some brand new muumuus.
What do you think my wife would say if I bought her
please
muumuus for
Oh my God.
Christmas?
Would you please?
What do you think she'd say?
Oh, please film it. Just I want that so just be like,
what if I said these were my grandma's? I really want you to have them.
Well, what if you just said, like, I thought these would, you are always talking about wanting something comfortable to kind of lounge around the house in. What if she loved it and she became a muumuu lady?
I'd love that. I'd be right there with her. Is there a male muumuu?
Yeah, you can make a male muumuu. Yeah. It's like a drug rug. That's the, like the High Plains Drifter Clint Eastwood cakes, the ponchos. Or is it the serapes or whatever? Isn't that kind of the male muumuu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
The romper?
The man romper?
I showed up to pick up my buddy once to a game, and he was wearing a flight suit. Threw me for a total loop.
A flight suit as in like...
It was a flight suit.
Were you going to a party or...
No! Like we were going to a soccer game, and
Were you taking a flight? Was
no,
he flying?
No, it was like from the Banana Republic. It was a flight suit, but
What?
obviously not like branded.
So
but
it's like a part of fashion.
Yeah, dude, it was a serious
That's
thing.
a bold move.
Believe me, I was not prepared for it.
Maybe on a catwalk somewhere, but
Threw me for a loop. Olive green, like flight suit. I said, "Where the hell did you get that?" He said, "Banana Republic." I was like, "Well, I'll be damned." Yeah, flight suit.
Vancouver Ford text line. My wife is 25 and her friends do muumuu parties.
Hell yes.
So good. Yeah, the male muumuu is basketball shorts. I can, that's, you're lounging around the house. Most people
That's
have
right.
a pair of basketball shorts that should have been retired.
Or like the cut-off sweatpants shorts.
Yeah, like years ago.
Yeah, I have sweat shorts.
I have a pair of Kansas basketball shorts that I wear around my house.
Or like the, what do you call them? What are the pants? The joggers.
Joggers,
Yeah.
Sunday joggers.
Joggers.
Yeah. That's the male muumuu. Although you should just embrace the male muumuu, get an actual muumuu. I bet you there's some muumuus that are unisex.
A dude moo?
Yeah, dude moo. Yeah, just buy a solid color one. No one will know the
I
difference.
still can't get over the flight suit thing.
Oh yeah, dude.
that is pretty crazy.
That's in my kitchen.
It was in my kitchen all day. I was like, wow.
Well, I mean,
I'll tell you what, it caused a buzz. We walked into Providence Park, and let me tell you, if you want to cause a scene, if you want eyes on you, I'm telling you, wear a flight suit in the middle of summer to a soccer game. People pay attention.
Look up, they do have male muumuus.
Do I just look up male
Look them
muumuu?
up on Amazon. They have them on Amazon. They have several of them.
Well, now I know what I'm getting you guys for Christmas.
And they are something.
Oh, yeah.
Male
Look at
muumuus
that.
and male rompers. Matching.
Wow. Look at
to go with your matching veneers.
Look at that.
You guys show up one day in matching rompers and new veneers?
Yes.
Matching man muumuus.
Boy.
Have we not done that yet?
I don't know. I'm still
Be good content.
I'm still trying to process this male muumuu. Dude, people are rocking them.
They sure are.
Yeah.
People are, or the people in those photos are?
Well, the models.
Yeah, the models.
That were forced to wear them for money. Why are the former Pac-12 teams struggling so much? We'll get to that this hour. The wildlife issue of our time in the club, but right now, the Hot 5 at 5.
Hot topics, hot opinions,
Oh, golly,
hot air. It's time for the Hot 5 at 5.
That's hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 on Primetime with Isaac and Sue.
No, I mean it. That's very hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 with Isaac and Sue. Brought to you on The Fan by Victorico's Mexican Food. Discover Victorico's new savory menu items. Order in-store, online, or get it delivered straight to your door at victoricos.com.
Dave Bartu texted and said Brett Bielema has his own line of sports muumuus. I could see Bielema as a muumuu. It's kind of what he
Number
wears.
5.
He does do a pullover that's bordering on a muumuu.
Yeah, it's like you add a couple inches to that thing, and it's a muumuu.
The Ducks could get Jordan Birch back this week in the big house.
Yeah, it'd be a big get. Him and Ferguson were both practicing today, so.
Yes, Dan Lanning officially calling them both questionable. Kickoff Saturday at Michigan, 12:30 here on The Fan.
Well, you want to talk about a game at the start of the year that everyone had circled and now has absolutely no juice?
Yeah.
I give you this.
It's got some juice,
You
but
think?
I mean a little. Look, it's still the big house. Cool place to play.
And maybe more for Oregon because you can go get a pelt on the defending national champion. At least you think you can
Except
in an
4 other teams,
iconic place.
Like 4 other teams already have that pelt. Like,
I know. I'm just telling you why I think Oregon fans might like it.
Would this win be better or worse than the win the year that they remember they went in there and won?
after
this would pale in comparison to that one.
Why? Because that team wasn't that good that year, Michigan.
They were that good. That after that they went on to win all their games.
They won a bowl game, but
They're better. They're already better than this year's.
This Michigan team's bad.
they just lost to App State that year.
And I think Oregon
Number
surprised
4.
everybody that game. Like they put up like 37 points, and they did the fake Statue of Liberty, and they were dropping long bombs all over the place. Like that was an arrival for Oregon.
Blazers lose last night in Sacramento. They are now 1-3. Next up will be a trip to Los Angeles to take on the Clippers tomorrow. Utah loses the number 9 overall pick, Taylor Hendricks, for the season. His leg turned the wrong way last night against the Mavericks.
You mentioned it. He hip drop tackled himself.
Yeah, it was
It's
weird.
brutal.
Raise your hand if you knew Rudy Gay was still playing.
Hey. No, I can't raise my hand. I thought he retired like 2 years ago.
You knew he was still playing?
No. I thought he was out of the league.
One of the all-time great box score stuffers.
Oh, for sure.
Who does he play for?
He was the definition of a hollow player.
He just gets you 20 points a game any night, as he would never win.
And do nothing. Yeah, he is retiring after 17 meh seasons in the NBA.
Hey, that's a great career, though. And
Made a lot of money.
17 years? Good for Rudy Gay. No idea. Was he...
Freddie Freeman just freaking did it again.
Did he really?
Yep.
Oh, he did.
Son of a gun.
Short porch.
Yeah, by the way, can we point out the fact that Yankee Stadium is an absolute joke? That's not a home run in any other ballpark.
No.
Dude, the guy just hit home runs in 4 straight World Series games, and they're going to sweep him. That's nuts.
Freaky Freddie.
Well, now he's hit home runs in
6 total, but like...
straight World Series games.
That was a 2-run shot? Who was on?
Betts was on.
Wow. Well, I guess we'll do the World Series
go
here.
with that.
Could end tonight. The Dodgers already up 2-0 on the Yankees in the first inning. They were up 3-0 in the series in New York. Aaron Judge now hitting just 196 with 86 strikeouts and 214 career playoff at-bats. Says right here in my notes, if Freddie Freeman homers, he sets the all-time record for consecutive World Series games with a dong at 6. And he just donged.
Wait, sets or ties? That set it?
No, he sets it.
Okay.
Because he was tied with George Springer.
Jeez.
Do you remember that? We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, we did. Is this the most no-brainer World Series MVP of all time?
Yes.
I guess maybe Bumgarner. Like, will
Boy,
anyone else get a vote? Will
But you know
anyone
what?
else get a vote?
Bumgarner didn't play in every game. Freeman had a home run in every. If they sweep it tonight, I think Freeman's got the better case. Contributed to every single win.
I think Bumgarner.
Would you look? Did anyone else receive a vote besides Madison Bumgarner?
Oh, look.
Has there ever been a unanimous MVP? Because who else are you voting for on the Dodgers?
I don't know who you could.
Where were we?
I don't know. We got derailed by Freddie Freeman's giant teeth hitting home runs.
So much things. Quite a road for Michigan quarterback Jack Tuttle, who appeared in 2 games this season. He is a 7th-year senior. He has medically retired from football. He says his offseason arm surgery hasn't taken. He has also had 5 concussions. So he started at Utah, transferred to Indiana, sat behind Michael Penix, and he ended up in Ann Arbor. So this means that the Wolverines are back to Davis Warren as their quarterback. He was the first quarterback that started this year.
So you have Davis Warren, who can't run and sucks, or you go to Orgy, who is an athlete that literally can't throw the ball from me to you. So
they'll probably see both of them.
Yeah, good luck against Oregon. Michigan won't score 14 points. I don't know if Michigan will score 10 points.
I think the over-under for their team point total is 14.5.
I'll take the under.
I think so, too.
And number 1, NFL, Joe Flacco will be reinserted as QB1 in Indianapolis. Anthony Richardson benched, but the team says they are not quitting on him. They maintain he is their franchise guy.
We always say this when we bench a rookie quarterback. They said it about Zach Wilson. They did this, but there just really isn't a path forward unless Joe Flacco gets hurt. Anthony Richardson's career as a starter is hanging by a thread.
And they're saying he can use this as a growth opportunity. His completion rate this season is just 44.4%.
That's actually better than I would have thought. I mean, he's had some he can't play the position right now.
The Texans have lost wide receiver Stephon Diggs for the season. That's a torn ACL. And 2 trades. The Ravens trade for Panthers wide receiver Deontay Johnson. They swap a 6th and a 5th. And then the Panthers also deal offensive lineman Cam Robinson to the Vikings.
Yeah, well, the Vikings lost one of the best left tackles in the game, and there's not good left tackles to be had. Cam Robinson gets paid like a high-priced left tackle. He's not very good, but it's better than the alternative.
Better than backup, right?
Yeah, like Cam Robinson is a starter. I just think he's not elite by any stretch of the imagination, and Minnesota lost an elite tackle, maybe the second best one in football. So stopgap, see what you can do, and then you wonder, Carolina was having a fire sale if anyone's available. You wonder if this starts the sell-off for the Jags, if maybe it's just you gut the thing and start over.
There's your Hot 5 at 5. It's brought to you by Victor Rico's Mexican Food. Discover Victor Rico's new savory menu items. Order in-store, online, or delivered straight to your door at victorricos.com. Why are the former Pac-12 teams, not named Oregon, struggling so much? We'll get to that next on The Fan.
The season begins.
find the vote totals for World Series MVPs. Now,
I wasn't either. I wonder if there is is it a media vote?
It's a
Yeah, it's a media vote.
It's media.
Well,
It's
in recent years, they've incorporated fan votes, like with T-Mobile activation sponsorships and things like that. Like they've made fans a component of it too now.
Yeah, there is something on MLB.com. There is a tab for 2024 World Series MVP vote.
I think the fans vote counts for like 20% of the
Does
award
it?
or something like that.
Because there used to be just a committee, and it would always be media people and if other officials who are there at the World Series. So I don't even know if there's an official tabulation.
Oh, I always thought it was a media. I guess I've now that Buck mentions it, I guess I do now remember seeing like the hey vote, but I always just thought it was like, because people talk about in the press box, like reporters talk about, all right, well, I have to cast my MVP vote.
So I don't know. I couldn't get any info on that. I will say that Madison Bumgarner, just to refresh your memory, in 2014, he pitched 21 innings in that World Series. He had 3 appearances, including 1 out of the bullpen on short rest, and he gave up 1 run.
Yeah.
I mean, I
was going to say, if there was ever a unanimous MVP,
that's it.
I would think it's Bumgarner, but I mean, if you're Freddie, there's not another Dodger that you could conceivably vote for. Not a single one without it being Freddie Freeman.
So he has homered again tonight.
Yeah.
Freeman now has home runs in 6 straight World Series games, which is a all-time record. He is now hitting, let's see, this postseason. Going into tonight in this series, he was 4 for 12 with 3 home runs. So he's now 5 for 13 with 4 home runs and 9 RBIs in this series.
Coming in and supposedly was going to be limited playing on a bum ankle that they didn't think he'd really be able to make any sort of impact. And look at him. And they've done this. I mean, I guess Ohtani did have the that tied the game that led to the Freeman Grand Slam. So other than that, though, Ohtani has not been a factor.
No, Tommy, wouldn't it be Tommy Edman the other?
Oh my God. Dude, watch this. Mookie Betts makes a catch, and the Yankee fan wrestles the ball.
New Yorker yelling at him.
Wow.
But he was over here!
Wow.
He could hurt his wrist.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. Think about so.
Dude,
they called him out, obviously, right?
That was nuts.
I've never seen that. So, like, Mookie Betts makes a catch down the right field line, and
this video's incredible.
Yeah, and he catches it. I mean, it's in the stands. He reaches over and makes the catch in foul territory.
Great catch.
And there is this douchebag New York fan that literally grabs Mookie Betts' glove, and for about 15 seconds is trying to wrestle the ball out of his glove while another Yankee fan grabs Betts' other hand and starts twisting it so that he can't reach up and grab it. I've never seen anything like this.
Oh, God.
They have to kick them out of the game, right?
Well,
I mean,
of course. Yeah, he's out.
I've never seen anything like that.
That
it's one thing to try to catch the foul ball. It's another to try to pry open the person's glove.
Have you ever?
No. That could have gone way
that
worse.
That could have
too,
been really, really bad.
Because the wall is tall, and it looked like Mookie's wrist was.
Yes, you could have broken his wrist.
Yeah. Oof.
And that was not like one of those, like he was digging in his glove trying to rip it out.
It is just.
The video's insane.
The Yankees. They couldn't just get swept.
No.
They had to have their fans pile on and just reiterate how douchey they are.
Yeah. Like and by the way, just, I mean, I don't mean to stereotype people because, I mean, look, I get it. You look at me and I certainly cast an image of something.
January 6th?
Yeah. By the way, I had someone at a bar
Never forget.
Yesterday ask me if I was a Nazi. That is a real statement that someone asked me. And I was like...
And your answer?
I was like, well, it's a complicated...
Am I a Nazi?
Dude, it brought the bar to a standstill. Even the bartender was like, excuse me? So, I mean, I get the perception out there. But if you had to paint the picture of a drunk, entitled, douchebag Staten Island Yankee fan, isn't it that guy?
Yeah.
He looks like the Brooklyn Brawler, for God's sakes.
It's like this. How many stadiums would that happen in?
I mean...
Because I don't think many.
No,
I
don't think so.
I really don't. I would say Philly.
Yes.
I would
Philly,
say
Boston.
New York.
Yeah,
this
Philly.
for sure happens at Fenway.
Boy, that is... I don't know.
Yeah.
Man.
Maybe. What else? Doesn't happen on the West Coast.
No, dude. I don't know.
Probably not Chicago.
I just don't know. I literally have never seen it. Just
amazing. Anyway,
his there's great photos of his double chin out there as he's trying to yank it out of his glove.
The super slow-mo of like the glove pry it's unbelievable.
Did he get the ball?
They pulled it out.
The ball, like, he wasn't able to secure it. Like, they ripped it out, and then the ball like flew out of the glove and back onto the field to play.
Yeah, but Betts clearly caught it.
Yes.
And then the one guy that was trying to wrestle it out of his glove, it was the second guy that reached over and was able to, looks like he was able to pry it out, and the ball goes flying. But, it's got to be an out, and then I'm assuming they're going to kick those two douche canoes out. If the Yankees have any, I mean, if they don't kick those guys out,
they'll be kicked out.
Oh, there's
no question they stay. They don't stay.
There's just no question.
This isn't someone trying to catch a foul ball. This is someone trying to this is different than
That's
Bartman.
bad. I can't wait to hear what Bet says about that.
Yeah.
He was pissed.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. The other quick follow-up, and then we're going to get back on track here.
Sorry,
maybe.
Well, I don't remember what we were talking about, but I looked up and I was like, what is happening right now? Because I'm a little bit ahead of you.
So, Rudy Gay, noted NBA...
Stat stuffer.
Compiler? I don't know.
Yeah, there we go.
Long-time NBA veteran?
See, he goes into the Carmelo Anthony class for me. And Carmelo Anthony is obviously a way better player than Rudy Gay. But all I'm saying there is they're just players that were hollow stat stuffer patter players. They just never won anything, never did much.
Yeah.
Do you care to guess how much money that dude made in his career?
Oh my God. I'm guessing
Rudy
this
Gay?
is a
I'll say over 200 mil.
Well, he signed that big deal. Was it in Sacramento that he signed? I mean,
I think he had a couple big deals.
I'm going to go like 270. I bet you he made a butt ton of money.
So that guy, he was third in Rookie of the Year voting in Memphis in 2007. He never had one accolade in 16 seasons after that. Not
really?
One.
He never made an all-defensive team. He never made nothing.
Not according to his basketball reference
all-star
page.
Teams? He was on an Olympic team, right?
Maybe.
I thought Rudy Gay was made an Olympic team.
He was all league that first year.
Okay.
No all-star appearances. He played in the slam dunk contest the next year.
He never made an all-star team, huh?
No.
Well, then maybe I'm gonna have to lower that. I thought he was better than that. Maybe 215,
he could score
220.
215, 220. Oh, million?
Yeah.
Yeah, he made $181 million.
Okay.
For that.
In my mind, I thought Rudy Gay was better than that.
Well, he averaged, 16 points a game for his career.
Look, you played 17 years in the league and you averaged 16 points. Rudy Gay might be criminally underrated.
He's a walking bucket, but he just never helped anybody win anything.
He's not underrated, though. I mean, he's a good player, but he just he was inconsequential.
Yeah.
And he bounced around. They traded him like 5 times.
But he made $181 million.
$181 million. God.
And this is why those old NBA guys hate the modern player.
That douchebag.
Because there's some dude that made like 6 All-NBA teams and won 2 titles that made $1.2 million, and he's looking at Rudy Gay. He's like, yeah, I may not be in the Hall of Fame, but I got $180 million.
Okay, why are the former Pac-12 teams struggling so much? Not named Oregon, of course. That's next. Here's Buck.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with the Sports Center update. First on the Fan on the Diamond tonight, Game 4 of the World Series. The Dodgers looking to sweep, and they already have a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the first. Freddie Freeman doing it again. He's making World Series history, has home runs in 6 straight World Series games, including all 4 of this season's World Series, hitting his 4th of the series in his first at-bat tonight. In the NFL, Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson benched in Indianapolis. Joe Flacco will take the snaps at QB1 moving forward. The Ravens add some depth to their receiving core, acquiring receiver Deontay Johnson from the Panthers. The Texans take a hit to their receiving core as Stephon Diggs has been lost for the season with a torn ACL. And down in Eugene, a welcome sight on the Oregon practice field as both Terrence Ferguson and Jordan Birch have reportedly begun playing again. Birch working his way back from a knee injury, Ferguson working his way back from an appendectomy. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley, the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Got a smart speaker? It's the Fan in your office and every room of your home. Tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan. Primetime with Asachi and Suk on 1080 The Fan.
All right, what's going on? Talking some sports here, man. Do we love our sports?
We do.
Don't play intramurals, brother.
God, it's just I can't get over Yankee fan.
Classic Yankee fan.
Classic Yankee fan. And then when the ref came over to rule him out, the Yankee fans started yelling and arguing with the ump.
No way.
We were standing here and he came over here. I don't know why this is bothering me so much, but I want to see confirmation that those dumbasses got kicked out and
dude, they're gonna get not only gonna get kicked out, I bet they get banned.
I bet they do. I bet they do too.
I don't know why. It's just the
no question.
I don't know why that bothers me so much, but the idea
because there's just a douchebag.
Well, and it's not the fact that it's Yankee fans certainly affects it for me, but there's I feel this way about when people storm courts and you buy a ticket and that's fine. You have the right to boo, you have the right to scream, whatever. But the idea that you have the right to interact with people on the field, that you have the right to put your hands on the athlete, that just, I don't know, there's something about that is just one of my big pet peeves. And then to watch them so indignant about it, God, I want them to face some consequences.
Yeah, the guy's laughing. You know, when they got he did get the ball out of the glove, but it fell down onto the field.
Yeah.
So he did not get the ball.
Yeah.
But,
good.
And I'm looking to see if they show him being escorted out or anything.
That's what
here it is right here.
They are getting escorted.
Oh yeah,
because I didn't see it.
Oh yeah. The guys in suits are down there telling all the other fans to relax.
Yeah.
And they're walking them out.
Good.
Number 99. He has a Aaron Judge road jersey, and the other guy's wearing sunglasses.
Sunglasses at night.
And they're all getting high fives as they go up the
really
up the stands.
Hey, by the way, those seats probably cost you $5,000 a piece. Enjoy, have fun.
Dumbass,
dip asses.
All right, so was reading some sports news today.
Oh, hot sports news.
Yeah, I saw my buddy, our buddy, Brock Heward.
Oh, what's old Brock up to?
Well, he was interviewed in a story in the Arizona Daily Star, and they were talking about why the former Pac-12 teams are struggling.
Oh, okay.
Of course, Oregon is not. But Brock's answer to that is, well, the only team who really has the roster stocked to deal with some of the new conferences is Oregon. And so it stands to reason that they're fine.
Sure.
Everybody else, well, not everybody, but USC, UCLA, Washington, certainly Utah, Arizona, Stanford, Cal, Oregon State. That's 8 of 12 right there. They're all struggling.
Yeah.
Oregon's doing great. Arizona State's been a nice little story. And then you have Washington State
Cougs doing good.
and Colorado.
Yeah.
The other 8 suck.
But can I also make the argument, too, that had they stayed in the Pac-12, they would suck, too? It'd just be a
yes, but we wouldn't know it because they would have better. Well, seriously, you would have better records. Like the USC would not have dropped 3 in a row or 4 in a row.
Yeah, I'm not certain about that.
I don't think they would.
I don't know. Like you look through that schedule.
Utah would certainly have a better record.
Yeah, but they would still be. I mean, I guess they're playing other crappy teams. I think it's too easy to say why are they struggling. Can ultimately, and there may be multiple reasons. To me, the reason why they're struggling is none of those are good teams.
Well, I know, but when you get, I would just say this, like if you put the Pac-12 back together, I don't think Washington State, Oregon, Arizona State, and Colorado are leading that league. Some of it is schedule and what, like USC, I think is a good example. I think Washington is another good example. I think if those two teams were in the Pac-12 this year, they would not be as bad record-wise as they are. And Utah would be another one. Now, Arizona, I'm not sure. Certainly Stanford and Cal were already bad. Oregon State had a lot of transitions, so that's tough to say.
I'm looking through, like, Utah has lost to Arizona, which would have been in the Pac, and they got blown out. They lost to Arizona State, which would have been in the Pac. They lost to TCU and Houston, and no offense, but to TCU or Houston, but you just as easily, you would have lost to Washington State, and I don't know.
What if they played Cal and Stanford and not TCU and...
Yeah, but they still. My point is, you still would have lost to Arizona and Arizona State, and you would have lost to Oregon. And let's throw another one in there. Look, I understand.
Well, USC and Washington would be better examples.
Because
they're in the Big Ten, not
Sure.
the Big 12. I don't think anybody is saying, "Oh, it's so much tougher in the Big 12."
Yeah.
There are people who are making the case that it is much harder in the Big 10. Brock Heward being one of them, and I would tend to agree.
Yeah.
And a couple of things that he said. Well, first of all, some of the numbers through the 2010s, the Pac-12 placed an average of 4.1 teams in the top 25 at this point in the season. Last season, at this point, they had 6. This season, they have 1. Now, they're not counting Washington State there because Washington State is technically still the Pac-12. So,
yeah,
2.
Sure.
If we're being fair about it. That's the first time that's happened since 2011. So only 4 former Pac-12 teams are even 2 games above 500. And if they all played in the same league, that would
obviously that wouldn't be the case.
It wouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Makes sense.
So Heward, they asked Brock Heward about that, and he said a couple of things. He said, one, there's the whole time zone thing. He said behind the scenes, the long travel is the talk of college football.
Yeah.
That is a huge thing. As a matter of fact, we just got word that Dan Lanning won't be on this week because they're traveling on Thursday and he doesn't have time on Wednesday.
Yeah.
This is a long trip for them, and it changes their entire week.
Sure. And I do remember, I mean, obviously, being in Utah, like, we're not West Coast, but I do remember playing Alabama, teams in Florida, Virginia, Indiana. I remember flying out there. Look, it's an impact. You absolutely feel it, especially late in the season when you got bumps and bruises. It is a thing, and you look at the record of the teams that have traveled 2 time zones, and it's a small sample, but yeah, it's a thing.
I think the last I saw it was 5-13.
Yeah.
It's teams. This is Big Ten in Big Ten play. Big Ten teams. If you go 2 or more time zones either way, those teams are 5-13.
Yeah,
I think that's the last number I saw. Although that's kind of a hard stat to keep track of.
Yeah, and we know, like, gambling. We've talked about this for years. The NFL teams, right? West going east to play the early games. It's an impact. I mean, we all know that.
Well, they said Illinois' equipment truck had to leave for Oregon on Tuesday.
Oof. It's tough.
And again, that's just the equipment truck.
Yeah.
But you get the idea. Like, I think we take it for granted. Lanning's even talked about it. He's like, we've really had to adjust to, and he doesn't, that's a guy that will never admit to anything being a problem.
You are so right.
Including getting sick.
Yeah.
But he's even said, yeah, these trips are longer and we've had to make adjustments.
Yeah.
We've had to work some things in.
Yep.
So Heward said, 1, the long travel. 2, I thought this was a good point. He said that the physicality can be wearing some of the Pac-12 teams out, particularly the teams that are in the Big Ten, because he said the Big Ten's budgets, they allow these teams to keep assistant coach continuity, and that makes for tougher, more blossomed cultures that just play sound football. It's not necessarily that the teams are better. It's just that a lot of the coaches have been there a long time, and they're tough and they're hard to play against.
Sure.
And that is wearing some of the Pac-12 teams out because they're not used to that.
Yeah.
And then he said that the last factor is this sheer size of the lines of some of these guys. He mentioned Iowa. Yeah. They're running 6'6", 350 along the offensive line.
Yeah, that's one
those
of those
boys at Iowa are just different.
Yeah, it used to be like when you would play Stanford or when you would play Utah, there was always that talk that you got to be careful not to have them beat you twice because you get beat up. And I felt that too, being a smaller program at BYU when we would play. I remember we played Washington one year. Washington went to the Rose Bowl. They were really good. Certainly the Alabama game always sticks out in my mind. When we would go and play big physical teams, I'll tell you, man, you felt it. When you woke up Sunday, it felt different than when you played when we played Cal or when we played, God forbid, Mexico or something. You knew that you had been in a
you
fight.
Played Mexico?
New Mexico.
Oh, New Mexico.
New Mexico. Yeah, we didn't play the
old
country.
Mexico.
Yeah, the old Mexico.
That'd be fun.
It was a vicious cockfight. Yeah, you felt it.
You Terry Tate El Chapo's kid and then find your...
You went down to take on the Sinaloa cartel?
I would not want to play that.
Find your head in a box?
No, I pass. But yeah, I mean, I would have to look at a schedule, but you imagine, playing like Michigan, Iowa, and like Wisconsin in a 5-week stretch.
Well, and 2 of those on the road.
I'll bet you when you're waking up after a month, it's
a lot.
Think about like in boxing or whatever when body shots. You don't get knocked out from a body shot, But you get deep into those rounds and you're going to feel it. And all of a sudden, everything kind of slows down, which is why we talked about, like, this college football season for a lot of these teams, it's going to be a war of attrition, and depth is going to be such a big factor in it. Who can stay healthy and fresh down the stretch?
Well, and that's what Brock was saying. He said really all the Pac-12 teams seem to be struggling with the adjustment to new leagues.
Yeah.
Oregon is the one that is stocked enough to deal with it.
Yep.
And I just wonder if the Pac-12 were together this year, I wonder what we would be saying.
Yeah.
You know, would it be Oregon and everybody else and, oh, the league's down and, you know, everybody, because you wouldn't have the Ohio State win.
No.
I mean, what win, like if you take their non-con schedule, of course, that's weird because they had Oregon State on there.
Sure.
But replace them with, I don't know.
You'd struggle against Boise. Like, and you wonder, USC, which USC has lost, 4 games by basically one play. Is USC a one-loss team in conference?
Exactly.
And we're talking about them differently. It's an interesting question.
Or Washington.
Yeah.
Or
Washington,
Utah.
Yeah, Washington was another one that let a couple games dribble down their leg. It's
or are we
interesting
talking
to know.
Would the conversation be Deion Sanders?
Yeah.
You know, making his run.
Yeah.
With Colorado, or would it just be like Oregon's not any good? That league sucks. There's no other good team in that league.
Yeah.
They haven't beaten anyone. You know, it's interesting to think about how we fool ourselves based on, you know, who teams play and what league they play in.
It certainly is a different. It's a different physicality, different travel, and a different style. And you know, and maybe it'll take a couple years, and everyone will kind of settle into this, or who knows? Maybe in 2 or 3 years, everything changes. Anyways, it's still weird to me to think that the Pac-12 is dead. I mean, I guess that's not true because the Pac-12 will live. It's just. Which is weirder now, not even talking about the Pac-12 because it really doesn't exist as a conference. It's a 2-league placeholder. Or when the Pac-12 relaunches, when we talk about the Pac-12 as afterthought. It's like, we're going to talk about the Pac-12 the way we talk about the Mountain West. Will that be weirder than not talking about it at all?
No, I think this is peak weird.
You think this is peak weird?
They have 2 teams.
Well, imagine though when we're talking about the Pac-12, we're like, man, that Colorado State Oregon State game.
At
You're
least
like,
it's a league, and you have standings.
Yeah.
They don't even have. They're a league without standings.
No. And by the way, Washington State may get screwed because
they have standings first and second.
Washington State is
I
not.
don't think they do have standings, do they?
No. I mean, someone has to finish first.
Are the
There's no
Cougs-
conference.
There's no league.
There's
I mean,
no league. So no,
but they consider themselves
yes,
a pair, so
correct.
they're still a first and a second.
They consider themselves the Pac-12, but
no-
there's no.
there's no one else.
They don't have enough teams to make a league.
Washington State could go 11-1, and they won't make the playoff at 11-1 because they're not eligible because they're not in conference,
and they would finish first in their conference.
And
they would need to play.
And their reward for that would be the Sun Bowl or something.
They would need to play.
Maybe.
They would have to have a couple of bigger wins in order to jump high enough to.
Yeah.
In other words, they would have to play tougher non-con.
Yeah, because they can't be the automatic qualifier because the conference doesn't qualify, so they would have to be an at-large berth, and no one's taking a 1-loss Washington State team over a 2-loss Alabama or a 2-loss Penn State or
who did the? You told me this yesterday.
Boise
night.
State.
That's right. Boise State beat them.
They lost to Boise
Genty
State.
mauled them.
Yeah.
And their biggest win is Washington.
Which, by the way,
Who else
doesn't
have they
help
beat?
because Washington's 4-4. So,
well,
they've had a couple close ones.
They just went down at a comeback victory against San Diego State.
Against San Diego State, they pulled one out. So they've beaten Portland State, Texas Tech, Power 4, Washington, San Jose State, got mauled by Boise, and that's the one that hurts. Is like you got drilled by Boise, and then you beat Fresno State, you beat Hawaii, and you beat San Diego State, and then the rest of their schedule is Utah State, New Mexico, Oregon State, Wyoming. There's not a Washington's going to finish with 5 or 6 losses probably. There's not a good win on your schedule. There isn't one. And the best team that you played drilled you by 20. So I know Washington State fan, going 11-1 would be awesome, but you have zero chance of being selected for the playoff.
All right. Well, I thought that was interesting. We'll keep an eye on that moving forward.
Yeah.
The old Pac-12 teams.
Absolutely. Until the Pac-12 resurfaces. Then we can talk about that Pac-12.
And then we get then what do we call?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just the X. I don't know. It's so weird. The
I'm
whole
very
damn
confident.
thing is just bizarre. Oh, yeah.
Well,
They scored.
Yep.
Hey, 2-1.
Yep.
It's something. Wait, did they not score on that? Oh my God, how did they not score on that? The Yankees.
Tom Brady posted what? That's next on The Fan.
It's time for a Ducks Report, the inside story on Oregon athletics. Brought to you by Mods PDX. The future of building is here.
Well, I mean, it's something we're preparing for is the ability to be able to run the ball on a team like this. I think that's important when you play in games like this. They've always been a really physical run game, team. They've always done a good job of running well, and I think our offense and our team is most efficient when we have a good run game going. So that'll be an important piece for us to try to figure out.
The unmistakable tones of Dan Lanning.
Yeah, I mean,
pre-Michigan.
Michigan's defense is certainly going to be a test. I just don't see how Michigan scores points against Oregon. Their offense is dreadful.
Mods PDX, the future of building is here.
The home of dirt and spray.
I'm dirt. My takeaway from this weekend, and this is coming from somebody who took Oregon State, I'm going to cover the spread. I just thought you get a fight.
Well, last night we talked about Giselle being pregnant, not with Tom's next child.
No mouth kissing there.
she is pregnant at the age of 44 with her Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor boyfriend.
They omoplated and ended up with a baby.
Did you see what Tom Brady shared on Sochmeads?
I did. Emo Tommy.
Was it a touching post?
Very emo.
Kind of.
Little cryptic. He posted a picture of a sunset.
Okay.
And he had 3 heart emojis on it.
This is to his Instagram stories.
Yes. And the song Landslide, which is originally by Fleetwood Mac. This one was the Chicks cover of Landslide.
Okay.
And he posted the lyrics of that. Or the song was playing.
Okay.
And you know the lyrics, right? Can I read you the lyrics?
Yeah, read me the lyrics.
Well, he had a caption too,
I'm
right?
familiar with that song. Take my heart and what are the
You're doing great.
Yeah. I'm familiar with that tune, obviously.
Okay, he wrote, let's see.
Something about like taking your heart and putting it down or something.
He wrote, "Oh mirror in the sky, what is love? What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me no more. No,
can the child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides?" Okay, so you know the song?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I've been afraid of changing because I've built my life around you.
Yeah.
But time makes you bolder. Even children get older. And I'm getting older too.
Instagram is so stupid. So are these things. So is this a positive post? Is this a heartbreaking post?
Is he saying he misses Giselle? What are we saying here?
You tell me.
You tell me.
It's heavy.
Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Come on, Tom.
Can I handle the seasons of my life?
Hey, Red Danny!
For God's
well, I've
sakes,
been
Tom.
afraid of changing because I've built my life around you.
See, there's the...
I don't know.
What's
I
that
don't
mean?
know. I think he's not happy with the pregnancy. I think he's got some regret. Emo Tommy.
Well, maybe he thought there was a chance that he got her back, and now it's not because the jiu-jitsu guy was smart enough to put a baby in there. He boxed him out. Tom thought he was going to grab that rebound, and that dude boxed him out. I was like, nice try, Tom. Tom, just go find yourself a 22-year-old model. And,
Do you think Tommy's really sad?
Yeah, I think he probably is.
And he comes home after calling a game on Fox and cashing a $25 million check and then gets a bourbon and is still very sad?
Well, if you're Tom and you have never failed at anything in your life and you fail at the marriage that you tried to keep together, I mean, remember, he took that time off to go try to fix his marriage. By all accounts, he did not want this. And you're Tom Brady. I'm sure he never thought in a million years that his wife was going to tell him to go pound sand. And then you find out that your wife was probably, doing something besides going to jiu-jitsu practice every day. It's like, hey, she's training at that place 7 hours a day, Tom. Figure it out. That's probably hard to deal with. Tom's not used to that.
Text says, social media has turned everyone into a whiny, brooding teenager.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is like I said.
That's very unlike Tommy, though, to post his, anything resembling feelings.
Again, that's what I'm saying.
He's very robotic.
It's turned everyone into a whiny teenager. It's like,
Not
again,
me.
I always point out, like when Flip Saunders died and Kevin Garnett went and took a photo or had someone take a photo of him sitting in Flip Saunders' parking spot, like being emotional. I'm like, really, Kevin? Good one.
Yeah, I mean, Tom's a person too, and so is Kevin Garnett. They have every right to express themselves how they please. It's just very out of character for Touchdown Tommy to
I think
do that.
Suk's not a big fan of the performative emotions.
Drives me effing crazy. It might be the thing that I hate worst or that I hate most in this life is the performative sadness. Drives me bananas. Someone dies and then you go to like the makeshift memorial for him and then like you lay down on the ground and sob crying because like your sports, like someone you've never met and you're like, how will I go on? You're like, really? Like that's really where you're at? Oh, by the way, make sure you post this because I'm going to put it to Instagram. Like you have someone film you crying in the fetal position on a public sidewalk and then you post it to Instagram, you effing poser.
All right.
Yeah. Dude, he's such an effing loser.
Well, let's get to the club. We've got a 93-year-old man going to jail.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, I'll tell you what, if
I
I'm
thought
on
that was
if
wild.
I'm on that jury, you would have had to do something pretty
Well,
impressive at 93 to go to jail.
There's no jury.
Oh.
He
did it.
Oh,
Still,
yeah.
You're 93.
What do you think he did?
I don't know, but at 93, I ain't going to jail. He just put him in a. Oh, by the way,
Yeah, put him in jail.
I got to tell you this because this I've got a. It wasn't 90, but boy, there was an old person incident today with a bicycle, and I felt so bad. I don't even know what to. I got another old person. Like, what do you do? Because I didn't know.
Well, suddenly a lot to get to.
Yeah.
We also have the wildlife issue of our time, according to some. So that's coming up in the club on the Fan.
Hey, it's
I love
Dusty.
cows.
Victorico's breakfast tacos are the perfect way to start your day.
On the same page.
Yeah, we've synced up. We're menstruating together now.
Azerasians.
I love cows.
It's like,
become my
I'm
favorite
like, what does
drop.
the end of this jingle need? And then you hit the same button at the same time.
Yeah, that was not my finest work there.
Someone has pointed out, what if Tom Brady ended up stealing Bill Belichick's 20-year-old girlfriend?
Being a man of increase?
Oh.
The jiu-jitsu guy steals Tom's gal, and then Tom turns around and steals Bill's gal. Helps her do her homework.
I don't think that would be hard for Tom to do.
I wouldn't think so.
You know she'd be like, oh, well, if I thought I could have you, I would have gone for you in the first place.
Right? I mean, no offense, Bill.
He's
but
worth way more money.
Yeah, he's not 1,000 years old.
He's hot.
Yeah.
He'll be gone a lot. Bill's home all the time.
Yeah, there's talk that they're going to get hitched.
Good for them.
Yeah, well, true love, right? Oh, so you were talking about this 93-year-old person, and I didn't know what to do today.
Well, I haven't told you anything about the 93-year-old man yet.
You had a 93-year-old person that went to prison. Now,
He was arrested.
This person was not arrested, but I didn't know, I felt like I should call someone, but I didn't know who to call. So
Ghostbusters.
I needed the Ghostbusters. I felt so bad. Sometimes when I'm driving home,
when there's something strange
in the neighborhood,
who can you call?
There's two ways. Sometimes if the certain turn signal turns green, I'll actually cut through the old folks community to get to my house. But it's usually not, and so I just go straight and I kind of go around the olds. Today I got the green arrow and I was like, oh, I'll just cut through the old folks. You cut right through the Fairway Village Golf Course. And there was an adorable old lady. I'm going to say probably 75 to 80, somewhere in that range. And she was on a little bicycle with a little basket in front, had the big bike helmet on, elbow pads, knee pads, like you were learning to ride a bike for the very first time. And she was going approximately 1 mile an hour on this thing. And so I pull up to the stop sign, and the lady's going, and it's a pretty wobbly ride. And she gets to kind of where, like where the curb goes down where you would go back in the road. And so you're talking about like a 1-inch dip. Guess what happened when she went on the 1-inch dip?
She over the handlebars?
Down she goes. Oh. So I'm like, oh crap. So I pull over. Well, I guess I'm already there. I just
oh no.
Like went an extra foot to the left, got out of my car, and went over, and I was like, oh my gosh, you okay? And she seems a little rattled, but she's like, I'm fine. I'm fine, just the curb. And I was like, oh, well, I'm so sorry. I'm like, do you need anything? She's like, no. Gets back on the bike and she goes, maybe I'll just stay on the sidewalk. And I was like, yeah, great idea, right? Sidewalk safe. There is a sign like 20 feet away for a home sale. You know, like one of like the, like a placard board. You know what I mean?
Like the real estate signs.
The real estate signs.
Yeah.
And it's
big wood stanchion and everything.
And it's right there. And so she gets on her bike and she's on the sidewalk. And so I go to get back in my car and I can see it coming. It's like 20 feet away and here's the bike. It's headed right for it. I'm like, no, this isn't gonna, nope, right into the sign.
Ow.
Down she goes again.
Ow.
I didn't even finish getting back into my car. So I go running over the 20 feet. And again, I'm like, are you okay? Oh, I didn't see this. You didn't see the giant sign? And she's like, So again, I take a minute, ask her if she's okay. Can I call someone? Do you need some help? She's like, no, I'm just going to sit here and rest for a minute. And I said, well, why don't I sit here and just make sure you're okay? I thought about going into the clubhouse, and being like, hey,
somebody watch her?
Because we got something. And so she just kind of sat there for a minute and she's like, you're a nice young man. Go about your day. And so then I see her get back on the bike and down she goes, just like with her little waddle. And I didn't know. Like, I was like, should I follow her home in case she crashes again? But she was going so slow. I was like, well, I guess I'll just go home. And I just drove off. But this poor lady, I feel that maybe someone died today. If I come home and there's like a new estate sale sign up, I'm going to feel terrible that old lady is dead. And she should not be allowed on that bicycle. But you can't tell an old person not to ride a bicycle. But she should not be pedaling around that neighborhood.
Yeah, she's just out there living her best life.
Crashing.
Maybe had some pink cocaine before she hopped on that thing.
Yeah! It was heartbreaking.
Yeah, the olds are cute.
When you see someone headed right towards it and then like you don't know what to do, so you do this one, like you try to yell, but it doesn't really come out. You just end up making a noise and then right into the sign. Poor lady. It's like, is there a husband I can call? Do you have a grandson? Is there anyone? No, I'm okay.
I'm alone.
Get back on my. Get back, and it was the best old lady bike.
Maybe
right?
it was her trick to get you into her house,
Little
so she could seduce you.
Get you into her pants.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the way.
Could you take me home? I'm lonely. Take off your shirt and throw me.
She couldn't handle a 1-inch curb, and she couldn't see a big real estate sign.
I have tea. I don't see well, but I have tea.
Feels so bad. He jacked a granny.
We jacked a granny today.
Wow. I wanted to be like, can I take your bike? I'll give you a ride home. Like, where do you live? I will drive you wherever
That's
you
what
need.
she wanted.
Or like, should I have been like a concerned dad and like you know when you're teaching your kid to ride a bike, you just hold the back of the seat? I wanted to do that. Like, let's go home. Let's get you home, ma'am.
Hey, you seen this? Somebody texted and said, why doesn't Tom Brady go after that girl who has a crush on him? And then he said, search Veronica, Tom Brady fan.
Oh, I remember this.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
She is stunning.
Yeah, she was an Instagram hot.
Veronica Rajek?
Yeah.
Rajek?
Yeah.
She's Slovakian?
Yeah.
Why doesn't he go after her? What's the matter with him?
Maybe he has. I don't know.
27-year-old?
Is it possible that Tom is just brokenhearted and he can't,
It is possible,
he
but
can't handle it.
I know, but
He was married to the most famous model in the world.
listen, I get it. But if this woman,
Yeah.
look at her.
Yeah, she's hot.
If she's coming on, like, is he really turning that down? Or does he think because she's out in the open about her love for Tom Brady that she's crazy and like
Doesn't want to get caught.
he doesn't want to?
He probably needs to sign an NDA first.
You know, if you're Tom, how are you trusting any of the Instagram hots, man?
It would have killed a lesser man.
Well, I don't know how you trust anyone really.
Yeah.
Anyone's motives when you're Tom Brady or when you're that rich and some gals are what I mean. Like that would be hard.
He was sniffing around one of the Kardashians for a while, I think.
What?
Yeah, there was a rumor that,
was it when he was
Kim.
at the whole Michael Rubin White party, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't
there was
that?
a rumor that him and Kim were,
Yeah, it was Kim. Yeah, they were
picking
kind
up
of
the scent.
I tell you what,
Musk.
That Kim Kardashian,
has a booty.
she must have something emanating from her hoo-ha because
she can get whoever she wants.
She
man.
does. She gets them all.
Gets them all.
And we all think she's a joke, and that family's, a bunch of boobs.
Yeah.
No,
dude, it works.
she gets whoever she wants.
Whoever she wants. That's a whole thing. You can talk about your crazy exes. He's got Giselle. She's got many. Kanye. Oh.
But why would Tom Brady go after her?
I just think
Of
maybe
all
it's
the
weird.
hots.
If you're Tom Brady, like, how do you find someone that's on like your social level? I mean, I don't know. Is it hard for Tom Brady? He's friends with Derek Jeter. You would think Jeets would have, told him, hey man, this is how to do it. But maybe Tom's a serial monogamy guy. Maybe
Did you
Tom
just
doesn't
ask,
like
is
this.
it hard
You can
for Tom
also
Brady?
get the
Oh.
power snatch.
Wow. Who hit that?
I think that was Chisholm.
Volpe.
Wasn't it?
Volpe?
Volpe.
Oh.
Grand slam.
Chisholm walked, I think, right before him.
Okay.
Yankees
I saw
are up
Chisholm going
5-2.
around. Yeah. Now we have to hear, oh, the Dodgers in trouble. No, they're not. They're fine. No, I'm asking, like, if you're Tom, it might actually be hard. Tom may not be into the Hoovers. And if he's not, maybe it's probably, I'm saying it could be hard to find someone that you thought was genuinely interested in you.
I get that.
You
But
know.
don't you got to get it in some? You're Tom Brady.
Not everyone's built that way.
What?
Yeah.
I think you
get
are.
it in.
You got to get it in.
Uncle Shannon knows what's up.
Yeah.
Uncle
Take a
Shannon,
page out of Shannon's book.
he's out there. He's out there grunting at people. Maybe Tom's not wired that way.
They needed a brick right there.
I haven't heard any rumors about Tom and ladies.
Maybe he's gay.
Well, he does have like 4 kids.
Do you think he's transitioning?
The rumor that I heard was that he was, like, when he and Giselle first split, he was doing something with one of Giselle's buddies, one of her model friends, another Victoria's Secret lady.
Oh,
cool. He should be. That's what
I
I'd
would
do if I were
assume that
him.
when Tom became single, that he was about to cut a wide swath through celebrity tale. But you
Seriously, what if Tom Brady's the new Bruce Jenner?
know,
Think about that.
I want to keep that private.
Huh. Well, he is starting to turn into a middle-aged lesbian. He's got that look going for him. Oh, it's 2024, man. You do you, boo.
Being a man of increase.
Oh, Tom. Yeah, someone saying Nikki, was it Glazer at the roast? She was into him. I think a lot of people are into Tom.
She's married.
Yeah, there are more people that want Tom than people that Tom wants.
Isn't Nikki married?
I don't think so.
I think she is.
I don't think it matters. Like, if you're Tom, like, you know, I think that's the thing is, like, maybe it's paralysis by analysis. There's too much. Like, if you're Tom, you can kind of pick whoever you want, right? You're Tom freaking Brady. You telling me you have Nurse Nice? Like, if Tom showed up, you'd be like, well, this is over.
People, someone on the Vancouver 4 text line says that TB12 fan is super hot, but she is a whore bag that does tons of crazy shit on OnlyFans. Whoops.
Whoa.
Even
I
better.
just read it right off the page.
Are you Ron Burgundy?
I love that.
I'm Ron Burgundy. God.
Look at that.
Whoops.
Offending the children.
I was just reading right through as it came in.
Buck just dropping a crazy
I
S.
absolutely did the teleprompter thing.
I love it.
It took me a second. Wait, did he really say that?
It took me a second.
That was definitely one of those. What? That register?
Nikki Glazer is in a relationship with producer Chris Convey.
I'm guessing if Tom wanted to be in that relationship, Chris would be booted.
They live in St. Louis. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
She's hot. She's cute.
And funny.
But yeah, I mean, like the Instagram hots, man, does any of them offer anything other than being an Instagram hot? I mean, it's just...
Well, that's enough for me.
Yeah. Maybe Tom wants more. Tom's a man of increase, and he needs something more.
Being a man of increase?
I'd like to see what his DMs are about.
Can you imagine?
Tom's or James's?
Tom's.
Tom's.
What if Tom Brady handed you his phone and said, "Here,
oh my God,
respond to my DMs"? Can you imagine that?
I'm assuming it goes the same way. I had a buddy of mine who I don't think it was. I don't remember. He was related to her, but I think it was a cousin. But you know, I think it was. They just grew up together. I don't know if they were officially cousins, but she was an Instagram hot. She knew some Blazers. She knew some NFL guys. She was an Instagram hot, and
Magic Johnson.
Yeah, and she showed us her Instagram DMs. Oh my God!
Well, men are way worse than.
Yeah, well, she had a couple 100,000 followers, and I was like, there is no way you can go through this. And she's like, no, it is just a never-ending sea of messages and vulgar, awful things. But she says you do sift through them because there are a lot of high-profile people that message.
That's how they do it.
That's how you do it.
That's how the Richies.
Yeah. And that's how she said she had met several athletes and an actor that way, is just through DMs.
Nice.
And like notable people too.
Well, hello there.
And I was like, BS. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's real. Yeah.
Well, let's not bury the lead that Ryan Buckley just
cussed on the air.
Just cussed right there on the air. For the poor
I really
kids.
hope this dump button's been
Crazy
working.
yes. Yeah, you're fine.
Was Motley Crue last week or this week?
That was last week.
last week.
Yeah, I think it was Friday.
Yeah, you're fine.
Well, 2 weeks in a row. See if we can make it 3.
We're on a roll. What if Brady gets with Hawk Tua girl?
See, that's what I'm saying. There's no way. Tom does not seem like the type that could just be with an idiot.
Kim Kardashian, dude?
Look, say what you will about Kim Kardashian.
But come
Think about the
on.
business prowess there.
No,
I
Kim's
know,
not an
but
idiot. She's a whore,
kind
but
of
not
is,
an
though.
idiot.
She's a ditz. She is not an idiot. I will agree with that.
Yeah.
But she is not.
Yeah, I
Dude,
get it.
she's not a freak. She's not a Mensa member.
I
Okay,
understand,
man.
but it's not Hawk to a girl.
No, they're not.
Concrete jungle, wet. What the hell are they gonna relate to? Nothing.
Concrete jungle, wet dream tomato.
Kardashian, I can see that there's no way the Hawk to a girl, and I
know.
can't see Tom being with some random like Instagram whore that has like 3 other celebrity baby daddies.
Well, I'm just saying there's a difference between dating and getting it in.
Yeah. Valid point. But there
I'll get it in.
There was that rumor about Ben Affleck and Tom Brady and the airplane, and that, you know.
What?
Yeah, supposedly that was one of the things that like tanked Ben Affleck's marriage. Is they were on a private plane with Tom Brady and some ladies were on there and stuff. Those rumors are out there. I like to have a good time.
What do you think happened?
I think they played cards and then just went to Vegas and had a boys, nice steak dinner out and then all went home. There's no way none of them did anything shady.
Watching election coverage.
There you go. That's what happened.
We couldn't do diddly poo.
All right, we got to go. Why this 93-year-old man is going to jail next on The Fan.
Oregon Ducks.
Then mom married Bruce Jenner, who at the time was kind of a celebrity. I mean, he was an ex-Olympic guy, but he was like a motivational speaker. And then she made a porno tape with like a D-list R&B guy who was only famous because his sister was a somewhat famous R&B singer. And somehow they then released that tape on purpose and built a multi-billion-dollar empire. That is the craziest success story in the history of celebrities. Find me one. Like, if you laid that out and wrote a movie, you would laugh and be like, there is zero chance that happened.
Well,
and then, by the way, the dad transitioned to a woman, but still is like a hardcore Republican and killed someone in a car accident.
One of the ones that always pops in my mind, your guy Arnold started as an Austrian bodybuilder, ends up becoming the governor of California with a superstar action movie role in between.
Which is
pretty
still-
great.
That's crazy,
I know,
but still.
it's not as crazy.
$1 billion empire based on that because they made a porno tape and then like released it. It's just crazy. So you can hate the Kardashians all you want. Someone has to be smart, and you're right. America. Land of opportunity.
That's the American dream right there.
Seriously. Like, it's... America, yeah! I can't comprehend it. Screw the learned people, no! And everyone hates them, but they... Fat, uneducated, beer! They sell everything.
Yeah. Not everyone hates them.
Yeah, people love them.
Women love them.
Yeah.
And this guy's right. You think all these... Well, I shouldn't read this. He says their mom is running all of this.
Yeah.
Careful reading the text line.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
See, at least I caught myself. Buckley.
What was the mom's idea to release the porno tape?
Mom is running all of it, and that is true. Kris Jenner is behind all of that.
Yeah.
The TV show,
Yes.
all their brands.
Yeah. But imagine,
She's smart.
Imagine the mom going to the daughter and be like, "No, don't worry, we're gonna release this." And she's like, "Dude, no porn actor or actress ever becomes famous like that." And she's like, "Don't worry, we're gonna be fine off this." And not even like in a trashy way, just like they sell high-end crap. It's just, it makes no sense how that happened with Ray J of all people. Ray J.
Is he still with us?
Yeah.
He's started a bunch of businesses on the back of that porno tape too.
Well,
And
I
other
think we have the blueprint here, guys.
But that's the thing is, other
So
people.
which one do you use releasing it then?
Other people have tried and it doesn't work. Like Lawrence Fishburne's kid.
So maybe
tried
they are
this.
smart then. You need the Kris Jenner behind.
Isn't Lawrence Fishburne's daughter just in porn?
Well, yeah, she tried to do the sex tape. There was a teen mom that tried this. Like,
yeah.
Octomom. Everyone tries this model, but it doesn't work. Theirs works.
Apparently, Ray J was on Shannon Sharp's podcast recently.
Of course he was.
Get it in.
I'll get it in.
Called Club Shay Shay. And
you can't make it up.
He was pondering whether his sex tape with Kim Kardashian altered the course of humanity. That's what they were talking about.
That was it. Well, I mean,
in some ways you could say it altered the course of the economy if you think about all the money that's been funneled into them since then. But
altered the course of pop culture.
Pop culture for sure. The course of humanity might be a little strong.
Yeah, humanity is a bit much.
Ray J asked, "How different would we all be? How different would this whole effing thing be? How different would this industry be? Everything would be different. There might not be any OnlyFans and all things like that. All the opportunities like that. Probably more people would be going to college."
A true hero.
I'll get it in. The best part is Ray
That's
J
what Ray
really
J said.
does think that he changed the world forever, like in his mind. Ray J. Well, hey. And I bet he's done real well. I mean, they made millions off of that. Because remember, originally they said that the tape was leaked, and then everyone found out that they released it. And they made a ton of money.
Because they were, if it was leaked, they could have sued someone
Yes.
for like either defamation or defamation of character or whatever. And so when people looked into it, they're like, "Wait, you don't have a leg to stand on here because you did this yourself."
Yeah.
By the way, you said that he thinks he's changed the world. He actually says later in here, I'm reading through his quotes, he says, "Are we part of the cure, or are we part of the disease? I don't know. All I know is I'm trying to make it right." And then Sharp asked him, "Are you embarrassed by the tape?" And he said, "Yes."
Well, I'll get it in. Yeah, he's embarrassed by the tape. He's not embarrassed by the $20 million. Nice try, Ray J.
Well, he has kids.
Yeah.
How could they possibly see his...
Again, I think they're doing just fine.
Penis?
Well, I mean, that's... Then they're like, yeah, but at the same time, like, you know,
They probably love it. They're like, "You're with Kim?
Yay!
You got with Kim? Dad! High five!"
Dad's rich. For what? This? Oh, all right. Just Google largest penis in the world and the dude pops up. Yeah. Go Ray J. Someone asked, are we going to get to the 93-year-old prisoner? Or are we just going to talk about the old lady falling down?
Stay tuned to find out.
It's called the tease, bitch.
That's right.
Buckley
That's
may
right.
start swearing again.
Yeah.
Oh, Ron Burgundy.
It just right like it was off the prompter.
Ah, so good.
Think about whatever else you could have got me to say right there.
I so wish. It's great.
By the way, Ray J is claiming that Chris did have she played a part in orchestrating the release of the tape.
Of course she did.
A claim that Jenner vehemently denies.
Well, no one wants to admit that they pimped out their daughter's porno tape and edited it.
We also have Ray J's former manager, Whack 100, threatening to release more footage.
His name is Whack 100?
Yeah.
Huh.
Gosh, it's awesome. Oh, yeah, I see him right here. Whack 100. What do you mean threatening to release more foot? Like, look, we've all seen it. There's no, like, you going to see something that wasn't on there?
Well, actually, he did release the later footage, and apparently there was not even any nudity.
Oh.
It was just
them hanging out?
Yeah. I don't know what they were doing, but they weren't naked. So then who cares?
I think they were playing Yahtzee.
All right. Well, should we get to the 93-year-old guy story?
Why not?
Well, I would ask why.
Well, I kind of want to hear what a 93-year-old did to go to prison.
Well, the reason why is because you've brought it up and now you have our interest.
Yeah. You had my curiosity. Now you have my interest.
I have them both. All right, well, we'll see.
I love cows.
Are we going to break? Or?
I don't know. Trying to
This is the time of the show where Isaac likes to see how long I wait until I start to pester him about really going to break.
I may or may not be testing him.
A little odd. Might want to break. I think you should go to break.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with this Sports Center update. First on the Fan on the Diamond tonight, the Dodgers can sweep the Yankees in Game 4 of the World Series. LA going with a bullpen start. Yankees sent Luis Gil out to the mound. He gave up a first-inning home run to Freddie Freeman, his fourth of the series, his sixth game in a row in a World Series game with a home run. It gave LA the early lead, but the Yankees have surged back in front with a grand slam from Anthony Volpe. That is a 5-2 score now in the Bronx. In the NFL, Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson benched in Indianapolis in favor of Joe Flacco. The Ravens add some depth to their receiving core, acquiring receiver Deontay Johnson from the Panthers. The Texans took a hit to their receiving core as Stephon Diggs has been lost for the season with a torn ACL. Down in Eugene, a welcome sight on the Oregon Ducks practice field as both Terrence Ferguson and Jordan Birch have returned to activities. Birch working his way back from a knee injury, Ferguson working his way back from a recent appendectomy. On the pitch, Oregon women's soccer coach Graham Abel has resigned from his position, ending a 5-year run with the Ducks. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley at the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The Fan Merch Locker has new shirts from the fan shows and hosts you love.
You can imagine.
Of course.
A lot of olds in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Ocala, Florida? I don't know where that is.
I don't know where that is either. Ocala.
But a 93-year-old man tried to kill his wife of 60 years.
She have it coming?
What are you, Stephen A. Smith?
Oh, look, I'm just saying. How long? 60 plus years?
Yep. They've been married since their 30s.
If you knew her, maybe you'd be like, that whiny bitch.
But why after...
Just south of Gainesville, by the way.
After 60 years?
You ever put up with someone for 60 years?
Well, why not year 54?
Yeah.
Or 30?
Well,
60 and he snaps?
Here's my point. Maybe
she is an aloof bitch.
Maybe instead of making this man a villain for attempting to kill his wife, maybe we should call him a hero that for 60 years he didn't kill his wife, even though she probably had it coming.
She told deputies that they were sitting in the living room watching TV when the 93-year-old man complained of pain and said he wanted to die.
He is 93.
So then he apparently walks behind her and puts a rope around her neck.
What?
Yes.
What, he thought this is the easiest way to get a death sentence or something? I don't... Okay, keep going.
She was able to slip her hand between the rope and her neck to free herself. Probably not hard to fight off a 93-year-old man.
Well, but she's
got to be 80-something, right?
there, too. Like...
Is it hard for a 90-year-old to fight off a 93-year-old?
I got questions. Yeah, because I'm looking at a photo of the
Probably
guy.
like watching toddlers fight or something.
Yeah, he doesn't seem spry.
Well, he's 93.
He's 93. Well, we saw that 90-year-old woman the other day that was running races. I don't think this guy is running races.
Can a 93... Well, anyway, she got out of it. After freeing herself, she ran to the patio and called 911. The dispatcher already could hear the old man state, "You can die with me."
Whoa!
I think he was going to kill them both.
Either that death by cop or whatever, like wait for the cops to show up or...
Oh, no, I think he was going to strangle her and then kill himself.
Maybe he wanted a Notebook sort of situation where you die like in the bed together, but she wasn't ready. So he's like, listen here, you selfish bitch. It's time to go.
Here is the red flag in the story.
Yeah.
The woman told investigators that he tried to kill her 2 weeks ago by placing a pillow over her head.
Oh, my God.
What the hell
is this? Did she not report this then? She was just like, well, it didn't work, so we're fine.
Well, maybe she didn't realize it. She's 90. Maybe she was...
Well, she realized it now.
Well.
Yeah, she was able to get him to stop, and she said that she thought that he would not try to hurt her again.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Huh. Well, I'll be damned. He does say in here that he is dying.
So he is claiming, yes, he is dying. Well, he's 93.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if he has cancer or what, but he says that because he is dying, he did not want to leave her alone. So his idea was to strangle her.
Well, she needs to ask for that then. That's not you don't get to just decide that it would be a rough thing for her, so I'll take her with me.
Remember we were talking earlier in the show about how Yankee fan thought that they had it worse than anyone else? And their argument, well, short-sighted, there was some merit to it. You know.
Can you imagine this guy's your cellmate?
I feel like this guy's onto something. What is she going to do? Yeah, she's 90 years old. She can't live on her own.
By the way, his name is Helmut.
Oh, really?
Helmut Lochner. Helmut Lochner.
He's German. I had a therapist named Helmut.
He's an old German son of a bitch. 93 years old, and he's like, I'm dying, therefore you're going to die too.
Yeah.
Wow.
But she fought him off twice.
And what was her name?
It doesn't say her name.
I'm not going to lie. Like, I would be very interested in watching the security footage of a 93-year-old man shuffle behind and try to... Which would be...
It's probably super depressing.
Well, it would be, but at the same time, it'd be funny because it's not violent. He's 93, for God's sakes. Imagine him trying to put a pillow over her head, but he gets too tired. Like, his arms get too tired from pressing down, so he's like, I'm just going to go sit down.
Yeah, I bet it doesn't look like much.
No.
On the video.
No. I just can't get over the idea of, like, his mugshot is just, it's hilarious. And what does he care? He's dying. He wants to die. Like, this is why.
Just take care of yourself then, buddy.
This is why
Buck's pissed about this story.
I mean, why does he have to take her? She didn't ask.
I'm going to start a crime syndicate, and my two things are going to be, remember, hire children because children can't, face real consequences, and all my hitmen are going to be, like, dying old people. Because what do they got to lose?
That's a great plan.
Like, you go to me like, hey, dude, you're 93, right? You're dying. Here's $100,000. You can give it to whoever you want, right? Or you can have one great big blowout party, and all I need you to do is just go kill this person over here. It would be an unstoppable army of very slow and confused hitmen.
Okay.
Right?
Wait, you wanted me to shoot that one?
Should I do the candlestick in the library?
Well, you can't do. There's no way a 93-year-old can beat someone to death. It's gonna have to be a gun, and you're only gonna get one shot at it because the gun's gonna fly out of their hand. I'm just saying, like you would. And if that one didn't work, I would just have imagine if I was trying to have you killed. How many 95-year-old assassins would have to come your way before one was successful?
Ow!
You're like, oh, damn it, honey. There's another old man trying to kill me at the door. Secanic won't stop sending them. You're like, just shoo him away. Shoo him away. Call the cops. He's just shuffling along in his walker. It's kind of adorable when you think about it. An old man assassin?
It is pretty cute.
There's nothing he goes, his dentures fall out. He's like, oh.
Hold on. I got to reload.
He gets
He's
tired.
got his little shaky hand. He can't put in the revolver.
Shake hand. He shoots your wall.
Hold on, I'll get it next time.
I'm coming back.
He needs to sit down for a minute. He's like, you wait right there.
Excuse me, could I just have a glass of tap water?
All I can think about now is that old lady on the bike falling over today, like on her way to kill someone. She's got a gun in the basket of her bike, but she can't.
The last words you hear?
Well, I really enjoy the show. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Bob.
Oh, it's adorable. I love it.
Well, there aren't a lot of, I would imagine there are 93-year-olds in prison because they've been in there for life.
Yeah.
But there aren't a lot of 93-year-olds who get locked up for the first time at 93.
That are actively dying.
That's rare. They charged him with 2 counts of first-degree attempted murder.
But, you can get a compassionate release. Like, he's never going to go to prison. He'll just go to an infirmary somewhere where he dies.
Oh, man. Imagine that old boy shuffling into your unit, your pod.
He's in there with some gang member, and old Helmet comes in there. And he's 93. Someone does
I bet
ask
you Helmet
the question.
runs that jail.
A 93-year-old German named Helmet.
Totally.
Yeah.
Think he's connected?
Yes.
Saying.
Oh, he's a Nazi.
Where's my dinner, bitch? Oh, my gosh.
Freaking punch it, bitch!
Unbelievable. I'm glad you brought that story to my attention.
She won't even return his calls, you freaking bitch! What is up with that?
And that she didn't report the first murder attempt.
Yeah, she's like, oh, he's not going to hurt me again. I'm going to kick your ass, you little bitch. Just tried to smother me with a pillow, but... and then he tried to hang me, but... I love Helmet.
Yeah. 60 years together.
I love him.
Marriage just sounds better and better, right? Hey, honey, you want to grow old together? You just show him that story. Old Helmet.
Well, he was trying to do the right thing.
He was trying to
by
do that.
his mind.
Yeah.
But,
well, again, he's 93 years old. Maybe in his mind that made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah.
All right, it's the wildlife issue of our time, and it's next on The Fan.
The Fan is live on YouTube, Twitch,
was engulfing. Is that the right word?
Yeah, makes sense.
Obviously, it unhinged his jaw, and it was eating.
Oh, I see it right here.
A 77-pound white-tailed deer.
Yeah, I see it right here.
And they have a photo. Because, you know, you always hear these,
yeah.
pythons, they'll eat small people or deer. And I know they can.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I've ever seen, like,
They're eating the pets.
the absolute real evidence of that. Look at that thing's jaw,
That's
dude.
unbelievable.
It's around it's around the fattest part of the deer.
Yeah. Because they always say, like, with humans, like, snakes really can't eat humans because of our shoulders. Boy, I'll tell you what, and this ain't getting me, but a small person or like a child or even like a woman, dude, this python would have no problem taking that thing down.
That jaw is stretched around the deer's entire torso.
That's incredible. Dude,
And there's video. They posted video of it too.
Oh no, oh no.
And then later they showed the snake. Obviously they killed the snake.
Oh, they killed it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's you're supposed to kill any of those.
And they opened it up, and that freaking look at that photo of the deer in the belly. Like it didn't just try to eat it. It ate it, and it's like getting ready to poop it out.
Dude,
it's a whole deer.
That is terrifying.
The hell?
Ugh.
Do we know how long it would take a python to break down an entire deer internally? Like, is that
well,
weeks?
I don't think they
like...
can.
I think they eat, and then the stomach acids slowly just kind of dissolve it and all that.
But how long is there like a lump there? Weeks?
Yeah, I think it takes a week.
Well, see, I always thought they died when they ate this.
When they ate something that big?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I know that they dissolve it. It just sits in there, and the snake doesn't move, and that's why they only have to eat once, and then it just kind of it goes. Ugh.
Dude, that's nuts.
Yeah, that is
absolutely nuts.
They said it would be like on this thing. They said it would be the equivalent of a 150-pound person swallowing 100 pounds worth of food.
Yes.
In one gulp.
In one gulp.
Yeah. And then it just sits in there. And I wonder if do snakes ever get that? Like we've all done that where you eat so much you just go home and you feel like you're gonna die. What if that snake is like, oh my god?
I think that happens, and then sometimes they actually do die.
Yeah, because I know that sometimes they gack it back up. They're like, it's too much. They spit it up.
I don't even think that thing could throw that thing up. It's too big.
Boy, that I love how they say that it was humanely euthanized. What exactly is humanely euthanized?
Nice little injection.
Did you just shoot it? Like
no, they give them injections.
Really?
Yeah.
No, they probably just hacked the head off with a machete real quick.
Yeah,
no, they definitely didn't hack the head off. You can see the head in the photo.
Yeah.
Oh, with it already being dead?
Yeah.
Oh. So what, do they poison it? What if he's not hungry?
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe
put it down just like they do.
I know with like some of like the wolves and stuff, they have poison sticks. They take like syringes on the ends of poles and they just do they jab them.
So it's like a long distance lethal injection shot.
That would make sense. But when a snake eats like that, there's no way that snake's moving. There's a 77-pound deer in its gut. It's probably
bodies fall out of hearses.
It's probably the easiest snake to kill in the history of mankind.
Well, another reason not to go to Florida.
Yeah.
Dude, and you know the other thing too is think about how nimble deer are.
Yeah, and that thing still got caught.
Yeah.
Well, they get you
It ambushed it.
Yeah, they get you by the legs. Once they get you by the legs,
Even
man.
so, shame on that deer. You gotta have quicker feet than that. Like
that deer's cut.
The snake doesn't have any legs, right? So just run away.
But if it grabs your leg and you're a deer,
but how quick can it really grab your leg? I thought it takes a minute for them to spiral around you.
It bites you and then it starts curling.
Yeah, I was gonna say if the python gets a hold of the deer leg, the deer's done. There's no, it has no other defense, right?
Yeah,
well, actually, it has no defense other than its speed. But
and once
it was ambushed.
If you've ever had something like this, is all I can go on is like my jujitsu. When something grabs you by the leg, it is such an alarming feeling because there's nothing like you start getting off balance, and then once you fall down, you're kind of screwed.